The further you stoop low, the higher I'll climb though. And Granny used to say, just gonna stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's alright because I like the way it hurts. Just gonna stand there and hear me cry. Well, that's alright because I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie. You think from me that misery is sweet. You must think that I really like it. You seem to think it's something good to eat. Cause all you feed me is a bunch of bullshit. Trying your best to put me to shame. Make me a pawn in your twisted little game. Made every effort and went to great lengths to rob every ounce of my strength. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's alright because I like the way it hurts. Just gonna stand there and hear me cry. Well, that's alright because I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie. Whoa, I love the way you lie. If you believe that I am so broken and I will live life forever hurting, that will never happen. Never happen. But it's okay, history never fails to teach.
Kyrie FM.
Say again. I come and be Kaiso maestro. Watch it. Neighborhood. I just wanna let you know. I will never wait until you go to come publicly and let you know the kind of contribution you have made. Your legacy will never fade. Your constant lyrics and tempo lit up the streets of
Everybody! Inshallah, nous pouvons rester. 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 We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, never party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, never party shall not be moved. They could come with propaganda, all their lies and all the slander, try to mislead the people with their hate and all their evil. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The best thing that happened to this country is Garrett and the Labour Party. We wanna bring to bankruptcy. Now have a growth in the economy. Got a leader with endless vision, youthfulness and dedication. Suspect that things would be tight. Went to China on the next flight. To ban Venezuela, what a brilliant leader. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. They could come with propaganda, all the lies and the slander, try to mislead my people with their hate and evil. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. That's it. Inshallah, no question. Inshallah, no question. Inshallah, Inshallah. Everybody, put up something red, wave it over your head. Inshallah. All of them forget the curry people. Labor stepping, they want to cause trouble. But the carry nagos had no respect, exploiting them on the water project. Superiors content used to burn to labor to build their seawall. Zero, they would have to back it. Water tank on labor fix it. Whether you teacher, leader, elder, must give credit to labor. You better believe it. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Look out for a 5-star hotel, highway to Posse as well. Seaport reconstruction, rosary modification. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Dance up. Inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Just something red, wave it over your head. Some will never see the importance to give up for people assistance. So they have a problem with the clinic. Make sure stay, they want to block it. Imagine they get in office, what would be their wicked practice? It's for people who put you there. At all time you got to show you care. The party in a working mood, don't interrupt that mood. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The government helping squatters to get their land and quarters, helping people. Some of you have an issue. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. You better know inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Everybody, hey, raise up something red, wave that over your head. Indeed, it is first time in our history people get medical for free. 18 and under and over 65. You shall never be deprived. Big focus on human resource, people well-being come first. Universal education, scholarship and transportation. What the selfless party would invest our country. Yeah. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Oh, but what a brilliant stadium. The region ruled all around. Improvement on all road networks. Airport beauty is no joke. We shall not be. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Everybody, dancer, inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Put on something red, wave it over your head. Hey, hey, everybody, inshallah, no question, inshallah, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Hey, not white, not red, not yellow, not blue. Hey, let me see you shoot. Let me see you shoot. Show me how well you do. Inshallah, no question, inshallah. Raise up some red, wave it over your head. Inshallah, no question, inshallah. Inshallah, no question, inshallah. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
When the poles are call up yonder, when the poles are call up yonder, when the poles are call up yonder, when the poles are call up, labor will be there. Labor, power, give it. This is the song for every true laborers in Dominica. It's time to stand in solidarity with your party. Whoa, yeah. Give it. I had a conversation with Paul Joe, this old man. Give it. While discussing politics, he voiced his opinion. He says, continuation, poto, UWP. But now it's time to put me country before party. I used to call it touches and criticize, but now I open up my eyes. Under my laser beam scrutiny, I am impressed with things I see. Strongly, we have to give and take. This government deserves another break. Man, the truth is the truth. I will not remain bitter and Karen Queen call me crook. Strongly, the facts are that to show from the one the whole nation needs to know. That me and me neighbor, we voting for labor. Development of where you go, me see more they proof for you no scare.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for labor.
Strongly, there is so much progress to tell for them by one water with Geodel.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for
The
labor.
country now wants solid foundation,
Because of Scarrow and
and
labor.
we headed in the right direction.
Because of Scarrow and
In
labor.
order to continue this
We
mission,
voting Scarrow and
I'm
labor.
calling on every Dominican.
We voting Scarrow and labor.
And the writing is on the wall. The opposition bound to fall. Anytime the election fall, Skerrit will be standing tall. Cause when the polls are call up yonder, when the polls are call up yonder, when the polls are call up yonder, when the polls are call up, labor will be there. Say what? Oh, God. Tell Linton his distraction won't throw us out of track. Never. Forward we go with Scarrow and we ain't looking back. This young man they call Skerrit is a true visionary. Boy, because of his ambition, he has rescued this country. He's respected the world over. He chatted and he cost for Dominica. The housing project from Venezuela and the eye care program from Cuba. Sunday I Paul Joe can testify. The truth is the truth. Open up your eye. At a time like this, we should not take risks. You boy, you better pie. No, no. Strong tell wash me some and every real man that's every Dominicans doing well.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for labor.
In my whole life, never before seen a government caring for the poor.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for labor.
Across the river next to the ministry, we build a brand new bridge for the city.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for
The
labor.
funds we now getting from Alba,
Because of Scarrow and labor.
building houses all over Dominica.
Because of Scarrow and labor.
Petro Carib doing so well for we,
We voting Scarrow and labor.
pumping so much money in the
We
treasury.
voting Scarrow and labor.
So they can jump, they can ball. The writing is on the wall. Anytime the election call, boom, Labour will be standing tall. So we moving forward with Labour. Forward, we moving forward with Labour. Lapland moving with Labour. Grand Farm moving with Labour. Salisbury moving with Labour. years ago. It's becoming a reality under the leadership of Scarrow. Like the Sufi escort ZC Wall, it's just a few to call. All roads have been reconstructed, and so said Brother Paul. This government don't have to hesitate to convince the electorate. It is clear that they have a clean slate, and by that we shall judge their fate. Strong-till, let's not be partisan. A lot of progress going on in the land. With grace, mercy, and peace we will celebrate when labor get the mandate. Oh Lord. Scholarships are rampant today for the children of the poor Malawi.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for Labour.
Bus is provided for school children, and to pay bus fare parents have no problem.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for
Our
Labour.
hospital now better equipped, and for healthcare less people go to Matnik.
Me and me neighbor, we voting for
Now
Labour.
we have a brand new stadium,
Because of Scarrow,
and the international airport soon to come.
because of Scarrow,
The road from Kenfield to Marigot,
we voting Scarrow,
and see how they fix up the Melton Hall airport.
we voting Scarrow and Labour.
So my people don't have no fear. Your government don't going nowhere. When the poll will call up yonder, Labour will return in power. Cause when the polls are call up yonder, when the polls are call up yonder, when the polls are call up yonder, when the polls are call up, Labour build the Tatan and Sophia sea wall,
Because of Scarrow and
and they improve on them hospitals.
because of Scarrow and
Labour really fixing up we country.
voting Scarrow and
So many students now going and study.
because of Scarrow and
What about the housing revolution?
because of Scarrow and
This, my friend, we must pay close attention.
voting Scarrow and
Previous Eric said they're joining the train.
voting Scarrow,
They want to be in opposition again.
voting Scarrow and
La Brendelis and Botica
voting Scarrow,
say they going on the way with Labour.
voting Scarrow and
Yosafashe Etisayole.
voting Scarrow and
We going with Labour only way.
voting Scarrow and
Yosamate et Yosasote.
voting Scarrow and
Ebe Labour nous jamais branché.
voting Scarrow and
Forward ever, backward never.
All aboard! Where my people at? Are you ready? Ready, ready, ready. Here we go. Wait for me. Give them. Captain's carriage ring the bell and we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Captain ordained by God and we ready. Ready to vote back the LP. A driver everybody could trust. A driver really just men endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody branching on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cap pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody branching on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cap pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Don't leave me down, I want to be there. Plenty red in the atmosphere. You ready? Put your hands in the air. Ready and ready and ready and ready to do it again. In the sun or under the rain. Everyone on the Labour train. Ready and ready and ready and wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Shout it out if you on the train. Whoa! Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Everyone on the Labour train, yeah. Great leadership is everything. So poverty. We take education seriously. We taking care of the poor and the needy, 'cause they are part of the family. Hey, everybody branché on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Capuchin to Scott said on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Cottage and Postman branché. Pay bush and fakers branché. The train is passing through. Wesley and Mary got Huawei, also the Carib territory. The train is passing through. Everybody branché on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Capuchin to Scott said on the labor train. The labor train. Yes, the labor train. Sing. Hey, everybody ready? We ready. Don't move. People on the road. The train. Get up. Hey. Coming through. Make way. Ready. Ready. Labor cut over and therefore we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Roseau Central, Roseau North and South ready. Ready to vote back the LP. We going to transform Posse and Roseau, and we want the whole world to know. Coming from the struggle that we undergo. No Pakalaje PM's Carol, no. Everybody branché on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Capuchin to Scott said on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Cassibus and La Plaine. Grand for on board, no complaint. The train is passing through. We did Saban and Grand Bay. La Puerta and Squad said okay. The train is passing through. Everybody branché on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Capuchin to Scott said on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Sing.
Everybody branché on the labor train.
You hear the chorus? Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Sing the anthem. Roseau Valley. Roseau Central. Roseau South. Roseau North. Sing the anthem. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yeah, my people. I wanna hear you sing. Yes, the labor train. Young and old, sing the anthem. Sing the chorus. Labor train. Sing. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Sunday night. We passing through from village to village. You know what to do when you get to the poll. We vote in labor. Labor. Everybody say labor. Sing the anthem. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Ready. I wanna hear your voices. Everybody sing. I'm ready. We're looking good.
Yes, everybody. Branché on the labor train. I want to say a special good evening to you, wherever you are joining us across Dominica, to the north, south, east, and west coast of the beautiful Nature Island. It is indeed another Saturday evening right here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. I want to say a special good evening to our political leader, Dr. Skerritt family, and to all of the cabinet ministers and senators. I want to say a special shout out there to our folks in St. Lucia, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, the folks in the United States and Canada. I want to say a special good evening to you in Guadeloupe, Martinique, France. Alors, bonsoir, bonsoir. Yes, it is the 24th day of, the month of January the days are just flying by so quickly, so quickly. Want to say a special shout out there to Annette Bates up there in Wallace. A special good evening to you, and I want to say good evening to Mr. Monroe up there in Bellevue, all the folks in the Petty Tavern folks, all the South City Grand Bay folks. I think this evening there it is the opening of Carnival in Grand Bay, so I see the place is alive. A special big up there to all the folks, and want to shout out Sophia's Cuts at Gallion and all the good folks in Point Michel. Want to say good evening there to Mami over there in Kings Hill, and to Ria, and to all the folks who are joining us in Roseau Central. A special big up to you in the Roseau Valley. Good evening. All the folks in the Maho constituency. Want to say good evening to Kenfield, Massac, Maho. All the folks in Roger. Good evening to you in Bena Wavin. Yeah, man. Want to say good evening to Tessa, and good evening there to my partner V, and always locked in. My brother DJ Bones, Rufan. Good evening to you. All the folks in Massac, how you doing? And Maho and Campbell, Despot, Warner, Taru, Jimmy. Hope everybody is keeping safe in Layo and Miro, Senjo. The folks in Salisbury, Kulibi Street, Mon Ratchet. Good evening to you there. Not forgetting, of course, the folks in Collio, Dublin, Bias. Good evening, Zetma. Hope you are good. All the folks in Posse, Massive. Hope everyone is doing okay in the north of the island. Want to shout out the folks in Penfield and Vegas, Thibault. Hope everyone is good. Cottage constituency. A special good evening there to you. What about the folks in the east coast of the island? Want to say good evening to you in Dallas, Laplin, and Bodica. I want to shout out Desi and family. And I want to say good evening there to Mr. Evelyn. Good evening to you. And Mr. Baron, hope you are keeping good, my friend. Of course, Mikey Etienne and family, good evening. And my brother, hope everything good. And Rufina, want to shout out the folks in Guangfeng, Monjo, and Riviera Civic. I was up there a couple of days and a week ago, and it was nice meeting many of you up there in Guangfeng. Yeah, man, big up there to the folks there. And what about Cassibros? How you doing there in the Cassibros constituency and Good Hopes and Sauve? We also want to touch the folks in the Kalinago territory. A special good evening to you. Of course, I want to leave the rest of the areas for my colleague there, Carissa, to shout out. Of course, all the folks in the office and where our international airport is building there. Wesley, massive man, Woodfordale. Yeah, man, big up to you all in great support, giving great support for one of the largest projects in our island that is ongoing as we speak. Want to say good evening to all our, the folks who always join us on the Next Level page. A special welcome to each and every one of you here tonight. Hope that everyone is, of course, keeping safe. All right. Yeah, big up there to Antigua and Barbuda. Yeah, man, we have quite a few folks there who are joining us, and somebody saying, yes, Simeon, pray for us. We in serious trouble. Whatever the trouble is, my brother, let's just put it in the hands of God. You know, there is a saying, there are some things that you have no control over, so you have to let that be, but you take control of the things that you have control over, and that's where you can get some positive outcome, you know. So again, let's continue to do that. All the Cassibros folks who are on the Next Level page, and you can always view the Next Level page. All you have to do is go live. Jean Bogostel, bonsoir garçon, ça qu'a fait, you know. Hope you are keeping good, my brother. Yeah, man, and I want to say good evening there to Mr. and Mrs. Tavernier up there in Mon Daniel. Hope you all are also keeping safe. My brother Carissa, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing all right, Simeon. I want to say good evening to you, good evening to Clarence, and good evening to our listening public. But, Simeon, before I extend my greetings, I would really want to extend sincere condolences to the family of the Paris family in Marigot, and also the Johnson family in Marigot. This morning we heard of the sad passing of Mrs. Paris. That's Senator Delbert Paris' mom. And the whole community is really saddened by her passing. So we really want to extend sincere condolences to both families, the Paris family and, of course, the Johnson family, and ask the family to remain strong during this time of bereavement. I also want to say greetings, of course, to Honorable Prime Minister and his family, and of course all cabinet colleagues, and caretakers. Once a good evening to you all. The good people of Marigot and Concord, once a good evening to you in a very special way. Of course, my sister Lynn, who is always tuned in, Pauline, Mary Claudia, and Garmon James at Sam's Gutter, and my brother Oscar, who I haven't seen for a little while, but I hope to see you tomorrow. I should be in the area tomorrow. So once a good evening to you and my brother Hempo and all the others. Once a good evening to you in a very special way. I realize you big up our friends in Wesley. Well, you have to talk about Wesley. I mean, that's where we have the biggest, transformational project taking place at this point, our international airport. So we always have a very special place in our heart for the folks at Wesley, Woodford Hill and Palm Tree. Once a good evening to you in a very special way. Our friends at Kalibishi, good evening. Benz, Ansimi and Solda, good evening in a very special way. Sister Lakia Joseph, I want to say good evening to you in a special way and let you know that I have secured your complimentary tickets. Not your complimentary, sorry. Your VIP tickets. She always want a VIP ticket for the Calypso semi-finals, which is on this week, well, next weekend rather, at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. So we have secured your VIP tickets for you, Sister Joseph, and you can just call me to get it. Want to big up our friends down in Thibault, our friends in Vegas, Penville, Belmanier. But yeah, this Belmanier place, I haven't been there, but Clarence, every time I say Belmanier, Clarence has a smile on his face. Clarence has something in Belmanier. We have to find out, Simeon. We have to find out. All right? Our friends down at Bonn, and of course we go to Portsmouth, the entire Portsmouth community wants a good evening to you in a very special way. Our friends down at Tuckery and Clifton and Capuchin, and of course my favorite area, Kokoye. I want a good evening to my good folks down at Kokoye. I will be coming to see you very, very soon at Kokoye. And of course our friends at Dobla, Colio Biosh, we want to say good evening to you. And of course, all our friends join us on the platform, Senior Minister, Senior Counsel, Donny, and all the other guys. I want to say good evening to you. My friend Mami, I want to say good evening to you. And we're looking forward to that prayer tonight. And Tanti and all the others, our friends in the diaspora, want to say good evening to you in a very special way. And look forward to a very interesting program tonight, as we continue to present the truth and debunk all the misinformation that is out there, and to let you know that there is hope. There is still hope, even if we are faced with some challenges, but at the end of the day, hope remains alive. Thank you, Simeon.
Yes, thank you, my brother. And Comrade Clarence, good evening, man.
Yeah, good evening to all our listeners. Good evening, Simeon. Good evening, Carissa. Hope you have had a good weekend thus far. And you mentioned about Belmanier. I tell you already, Belmanier, I just get to like Belmanier when I was a cooperative officer. So going up to Viecas, and you come out from Portsmouth, instead of making the entire wrong, you just drive up to Tibush. Yeah, and then you go across. There's a road going right across.
That's bit to go down to Thibault area there.
Yeah, to go down to Thibault.
Man,
Yeah, you
I
can
have
not
friends
on
there,
this
man.
by
I didn't know
Thibault.
you call it Belmanier, man.
So you go across, and then and there, I can remember very well, there was a shop, a nice wooden shop on the side, and every morning they used to have that, any tea you wanted, cocoa tea, ginger tea, Zeb Guab tea, and then you would stay there, eat that with some bix and codfish and so on. That's why I remember this area as a cooperative. And the road was very muddy. So imagine you driving in that Hillman Hunter in the mud, man, and then you had to drive through it. It was flat, but very muddy. So that's why I remember that area very well. Very, 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 very well. Bellman, yeah. Yeah. So, yes, let me say good night to everyone. Mr. Wallace, good night to you, and good night to your wife and children. Teddy Wallace, good night to you. Let me say good night to IL in Point Michelle. Hope you are doing okay. And to my folks in Pichelin, Bagatelle, Fort Saint Jean, good night to everyone. Bernadette and Janet in Bellevue, Chopin, good night. And good night to, long time I don't see my folks in Fort Saint Jean, like Red Baron, I haven't seen you at the bus stop in a while. I don't know if you will. So good night to you, Red Baron and Arrow and those fishermen guys, Aku. Good night to you all. Let me say good night to Doran, not Doran, Mrs. Doran. And in Cadboa, good night to you. And good night to Teacher Francis. Good night to all the folks up there in Cadboa. Nurse and Afa by the bridge, shop by the bridge going up to Pilit Savant. Good night to all you. Good evening. That's a place I go frequently when I go up to Pishney. But now because of the road and climbing up Monfatis, he just put a strain on my car coming back. So it's I just chilling a little bit. But anytime I'll come and say hello. Let me say hello to Teacher Madi in Granby and Teacher Annie and Lack and Clavis Regis. I hope the project is moving on smoothly. And let me say hello to Teacher Willie Fevrier, and Amo Thomas and Abdio and Isakis guy, always listening to us. Let me touch Point Michelle, IL, Deb in there Baikad, and my IL up there, and the people of there Baikad, and the people of Puri, and Vina up there in Scotts. Vina, you passed by me the other day when I was out on the field, and teach Mr. Brown and Valance. And Dominic, Bosway Dominic, Serafet. So yes, good night everyone, good night all listeners. We have a packed program with you tonight. So happy listening.
Yeah, man, Clarence, thank you again, and thank you guys. It is, of course, already 8:34 in the evening on a Saturday evening, and we can open up the lines and just take a couple calls before we get right into our discussion here tonight. 4487-338, the number you can call. You can also reach us on our next level, our WhatsApp line, which is 245-2929, 245-2929. Yes, Clarence?
Before you take the call, let me just touch out Monjuri and his brothers on Hillsborough Street. Always tune in. I know they're listening. They are there drinking their wapap or whatever they're drinking or eating, and the radio is on. The TV is on, and they are listening to us, Monjuri and his brothers on Hillsborough Street. Let me touch Matthew down there in Kinfield, and Zetma, take the call. Zetma in Coliho, and the folks, Mr. Peter, I didn't come down today, so that's why you didn't see me. Or you didn't see me on the Bayfront in Coliho.
Let's take that call there, Clarence. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good evening to you, my son.
Good evening, ma'am.
Mammy.
Oh, you all make my day tonight and my night. God bless all of you. What is my son?
Everybody's doing good, mommy. So far, God bless.
So he's trying to walk already?
He's walking. Yeah, man, mommy, of course. Well, man, the man almost 2 years, or April, give the man 2 years, you know.
Wow. I know, I mean, that's the little time I see all you guys going to 2 years already.
That's right.
Praise the Holy God Almighty, creator of the universe. And keep on calling him all the time, talk to him, tell him that you love him.
That goes without saying.
And be a good child, be a nice boy. Tell him Granny praying for him also.
Yes, I.
And God bless you.
Bless you too,
Have
ma'am.
a wonderful weekend.
You too, you too.
And Mr. Clarence, how is your grand?
Everybody's all right, mommy. Everybody. The little boy is standing up and making a couple steps, but holding still.
Wow. Well, that's good. The grace of God. Standing on them.
Everybody all right.
So really come in my love. And have a blessed weekend. Not forgetting my son, Clarence.
Hi, good evening, mommy.
There's a...
So I listened to your song, and then it's very good, wonderful.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, my boy. And how is my friend, my girl?
Oh, she's doing fine, thanks.
And the children okay?
That's right, that's right.
May the good Lord continue to bless, guide, protect, and direct all of you. Keep up the good work you all are doing. And I wish you the very best during that carnival time.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, look over your shoulders, and may God continue to guide, protect, and direct you every path. And I say good evening to my Dr. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. My Prime Minister was chosen by Jesus of Nazareth, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And no weapon that form against him will never prosper, because God is in control of his life. He is a prophet that was chosen to take care of us, all labor rights, all Dominican, all sort of rights, blue, red, yellow, green. He is the prime minister of the entire country and everyone, whether they like it or not. And he is the one that has to continue the mission that the Lord sent him to do in this land. He's the best of all. Prime Minister, may the good Lord continue to hold your hand and walk with you. Be with you throughout the darkest night and the brightest day. We are the light of the world, and we are the salt of the earth. Let us paint Jesus as the light of the whole world. Let him enlighten your every path and enlighten this land of our birth. All over right here and abroad, and I'm praying for all of you who love me, who hate me. I am still praying because Jesus prayed. And he said, pray for the enemies and we'll hit measure of coals on their heads. So let us all pray in Jesus' name and pray with faith that the protection, the protector of the Holy Spirit guide us on and protect us in this land. If only lies and threats that coming upon us in this land, I call in on Michael the Archangel to defend us in that day of battle. Be our protection and guard against the ways and the wickedness of the devil. May God rebuke them, I humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, drop down into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowling through this land and the world, seeking the ruin of souls. God is in control. Jesus is the light of the world. Let us give praise and honor, glory, and thanks to him. The Holy Spirit will come on us with the fire of his powerful love, and he will take care of us. So let us give thanks to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
And let us all Dominicans pray together to the Lord Almighty. The prayer that Jesus of Nazareth taught us to pray before he go to Calvary on that 14th station. He tells 3 times and he teaches us to pray that prayer to his Father and our Father in heaven. Let us all say that prayer in Dominica all over the world. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Amen, mommy. Amen.
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 The
Amen.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
God bless us all.
Thank you, mommy.
Okay,
Thank you,
now,
thank you. God bless you, and thank you again for leading us as you have always done with the prayer. We do appreciate, the prayer that you have always given on behalf of the Dominican Labour Party, and we always want to thank you for gracing us, and every time we commence our program here. Gentlemen, it's already 8:42, and tonight we want to spend some time this evening, analyzing some of the statements that have been made by Sticky Finger Fountain, and we want to look at some of the things that the fountains have been also saying with regard to the ongoing work on the international airport. But Prime Minister Skerrit, of course, while he was having this very, very interesting interview with Mafia Spelty and Curtis Matthew and others, a question was posted to him with regard to a statement that was being made in the public domain, that the Dominica economy will collapse or is going to collapse, you know, and by the end of, well, I guess it would have been by the end of last year, they meant, based on the timing when the statement was really being made. And so tonight we will examine some of the feedback that came from Dr. Skerritt, particularly when the question was posted to him, and of course, and listen to some of it, some of what Prime Minister Skerritt actually said. And I think I will play that as we commence our program here this evening with regard to the question that Mafia Spelty had posted to Prime Minister Skerritt at that interview, of course, that was held at Ocean Oasis. So let's listen here to the statement there.
This week, only this week, Prime Minister, a few opposition leaders met, and they painted a dark picture of the economy, and they basically predicted that it will collapse, and 3 economists are among those leaders. It will collapse at the end of the year. Would you say that there's merit that the economy may collapse at the end of the year?
Is Thompson Fountain one of them?
Oh,
Thompson Fountain.
Thompson Fountain is an economist, yes.
He's one of the guys who said that?
Yeah.
And as I look into 2026, I see more hardships ahead.
Thompson has always been a disciple or a prophet of doom and gloom. He's not saying that it's doom and gloom, he's calling for it.
Physical, personal burden and economic hardships on this country.
He's hoping, he's praying for it.
We move from being partially banned to fully banned. And that comes with a special kind of punishment.
And he's always forecasting this doom and gloom. I've never heard him articulate as an economist any economic policies. He had a 10-pillar plan, 10 or 7? 10. And all those pillars have fallen down. All.
We are on a full travel ban, and Americans are told not to come to Dominica. Well, we could kiss our cruise ship business goodbye. 85% of our stayover visitors are from the United States. So the hotels and the people that work there in some difficulty.
Why is it that these guys want to be leaders of the country?
And we are going down a precipice.
In 2026, we may need visas to go to Guadeloupe and Martinique.
These guys want to be leaders of the country, and all they would want to see is something negative happen to Dominica. That the NAP comes to an end and the 3,000 people who are benefiting will no longer benefit. That the government would have money to help families bury their loved one in decency and dignity. That we don't have money to pay for the children studying overseas and they all have to return. That we don't have money to buy supplies to run the ICU so people who go there will die.
Physical, personal burden and economic hardships on this country.
And that the country will come to a grinding halt. No, that's not the way to go. And so we're not saying that there are no challenges. Our country is not where we want it to be. This is why we keep working. When things are difficult, that's when you have to help people the most. And so it's unfortunate that they want to paint doom and gloom. But I don't see Joshua struggling in Dominica. Joshua had more money than any time in his life. Joshua touching money that he hasn't seen in no time. Thompson can see living in Dominica, he's not working, and he's still eating and drinking. Ito is there. Ito eating so much in Dominica, he put on weight. So what are you talking about, doom and gloom?
Yes, gentlemen. Of course, the response by Prime Minister Skerritt to the statements by the so-called economists. Yeah, man. Thompson Fontaine. Of course, talking about a dark, picture of the economy of Dominica. Of course, the Prime Minister went on to say that, Thompson is hoping for those things, and he's also praying for those things. Now, I was, gentlemen, before your comment, I was looking back in the archive, and I was actually looking at back in 2022 what Thompson Fountain was really saying about the CBI program and his own personal thoughts about what would happen to Dominica, in line with where the Prime Minister say some of the things that, of course, he's praying for. Let's listen to that there.
That's exactly what's going to happen, because what this effectively means is that you will not be able to pay government salaries. You will not be able to maintain government services. You will not be able to do you'll not be able to do any infrastructure projects. You'll not be able to patch holes and on the roads or build any new projects. And also, Matt, the government is very soon, and I said it first on Q95, the government is going to come in a few weeks or a few days and say they can no longer continue the international airport because of what is going on now. But we always knew that this airport was not going to be built. But now they have a very convenient excuse, and they will be correct, because in the absence of CBI revenues pouring in, you cannot have an airport been built.
Gentlemen.
That was in 2022, Simeon.
Yeah, that was in 2022.
Yeah, I can remember when he said so in 2022.
Yeah.
And he said in a few days.
And he said in a few days, the airport, because the airport is going to stop.
Yes.
At the time, in 2022, what they were doing is clearing the land, because they begin late 2022. They were just clearing the land and putting up their offices and their houses to house people and things. So that's all they would do. They hadn't touched any work on the international airport. But clearing the area where they're going to put up their offices, a whole lot of, is a complete structure, office structure there. And they have their quarters, the staff quarters in the area, their kitchen and so on, and offices. That's what they were doing in 2022.
Right.
He said this is how doom and gloom he preaching. This is the doom and gloom we're talking about, the Prime Minister is talking about. This is doom and, in 2022, he said the airport is not going to be built, it's going to stop soon, very soon. We in 2026, the runway is completed. I can tell you, Simeon, when I say completed, it is not asphalted, it's waiting for the thing to be asphalted. But the runway itself is completed. What they're working on is, on one side, they're working on the runway emergency safety area. But the runway has taken shape, it has completed, and then they're doing the tunnel, so the part where the runway, the road is going to pass under the airport, that is cut. But basically, you have a runway. You can see, everybody can see a runway, wide, 10,000 feet long runway, wide to take a A380, the largest plane in passenger plane in the world. It can land there. Simeon, that is what we're doing. It is there.
Right.
And in 2022, he was saying the airport not going to be built. That is the doom and gloom. Thompson Fountain. That is the Mr. So we need to change his name to Sticky Figure Doom and Gloom.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
You can always add that to it.
Sticky Finger, Doom and Gloom. Because that's all he is preaching, doom and gloom.
Yeah.
I cannot understand an economist. No empirical data. Nothing to give you anything. Just something coming from his mind. Just from his. I wonder what kind of economist is this? A mind economist, no data at all. Nothing. Just preaching doom and gloom. But the people know, and the people are saying the airport is well on its way. Simeon, you're saying Kenfield, you're saying iron still going up all the time.
I mean, up to today, I saw several of it offloaded. Yes, Carissa.
Yeah, I mean, Simeon, the gentleman is talking about seeing an economic collapse. He's seen it. The question I think we would want to ask, and I think Clarence alluded to it earlier on, in terms of what is the source of his information? Because according to the information that I'm getting from the IMF, information that I'm getting from the World Bank, information that I'm getting from CDB, all agencies that come and they would do their independent assessment of the country, they are not preaching any economic collapse in Dominica. As a matter of fact, they are talking about economic growth and economic expansion. I mean, in 2024, we saw economic growth of 3.5%. we expected growth of 4.2% in 2025. And when we look at it in comparison to the rest of the region, we are ranking about 3 in terms of the highest economic growth expected in the region. And if you were to take away, let's say Guyana, which we can consider to be an outlier because of the economic oil, the oil that is found down there, so we expect a boom down there. We are ranking 2. 2. And the gentleman would know that. So, I mean, everything is not nice and dandy as we want it to be. But I think it's unfortunate for an economist to be preaching such level of doom and gloom in the country when all the other agencies that would come and do their independent assessment of the country would project or forecast rather some form of economic growth or economic expansion in our country.
Yeah, and then, gentlemen, one of the other aspects of what Fontaine was saying is that over the years we saw a pattern by the UWP, a pattern to attack every single program that this government has implemented, and also more so to attack the citizenship by investment program. We know as we speak currently, the UWP has brought the CBI to court. I believe, Clarence, that matter is still ongoing.
Still in court, yeah. I don't think they have they withdraw it, so it is still going on.
So they attacked the citizenship program and the ongoing projects such as the international airport from various angles. And when you look at, you see a pattern over the years where the attempts that they have been peddling, it's all about trying to really bring down the citizenship program. This is one of the reasons why you hear him talking in the very clip there about the visas and those different things and trying to tie the citizenship program to what the United States is doing and claim that it was our CBI program that was responsible for that. I mean, when the news broke out earlier that the U.S. had Dominica and Antigua was mentioned, they went on a they were on a high speed, starting to put fire on Dominica and starting to put fire on the citizenship program and claiming all sorts of things that the government didn't do, and Fontaine now on all news network running his mouth until they hear the bombshell that America wasn't just looking at Dominica's program or looking at Dominica's citizenship program, that there was a bigger picture, a bigger mission that the United States was on, and that many of the Caribbean countries, other countries who have no citizenship program are now included now in this whole question of visa issues relating to America and entry into America. So he was peddling that back in 2022 with the hope, as the Prime Minister said, that the citizenship program that we have would fail. But what is crucial about what he is saying is that he understands the impact. Now, that is where these fellas are wicked. Because he claimed to be an economist. He claimed to love Dominica. Now, if you love Dominica, why would you be fighting you and your political party would be fighting so hard, putting so much effort into trying to destroy something that you know is benefiting the people? And I want to play it again, so Dominicans here, who are the people he's saying would be impacted if the citizenship program would be affected? And it's something that our Prime Minister have warned against. And this is one of the reasons why Dr. Skerrit called on the people of this country to come out and defend the citizenship program. He made that call on numerous occasions because Prime Minister Skerrit understood and understands the impact that not having the citizenship program at this stage of our development would have on the Dominica economy, and not only the economy but the citizens by extension. And Thomson Fontaine and the UWP knows that, but yet still they went and they put a frontal attack on the program. They call on the U.S. They've been calling on all countries to come out and put pressure on Dominica with the hope that the program would fail. This was Lennox Linton mission on CBS 60 Minutes when he said, like, as if you could just buy our passport online, you know, like on the internet, go on the internet. And then they were saying things to give the world the impression that our program was corrupt and, you know, all sort of, every time they opened their mouth, it was like as if it's criminals that buying into our program. And they were helping to put fire, so hoping that, you know, the program would get to a point where there would be a halt on it and people would suffer. Listen to Fontaine again, please.
That's exactly what's going to happen, because what this effectively means is that you will not be able to pay government salaries. You will not be able to maintain government services. You will not be able to do a lot of, you'll not be able to do any infrastructure projects. You'll not be able to patch holes and on the roads or build any new projects. And also, Matt, the government is very soon, and I said it first on Q95, the government is going to come in a few weeks or a few days and say they can no longer continue the international airport because of what is going on now. But we always knew that this airport was not going to be built. But now they have a very convenient excuse, and they will be correct, because in the absence of CBI revenues pouring in, you cannot have an airport been built.
So they always knew that the airport would not be built. But anyway, they are seeing that it is being built and it is building in their eyes, and the citizenship program is still there. But in 2022, here he was, you know, praying basically and telling Dominicans the impact. And so how could you know that? Know that if the funding that is coming in did not come in, that the senior citizens of Dominica, who every month rely on the benefit that comes from the government, that they would not be able to get it, that it would be affected, that the National Employment Program, where so many of our citizens are employed under, would no longer be able to be employed because the funding that is coming in is no longer coming in. You know, and the social programs, the children that go to school, the government provide, you know, school buses to take them from their home to the school, employing local bus drivers to do that. All of these things would be impacted upon. The Yes We Care program that the government have, those are programs that the government initiated. A lot of it, the government has to source the funding and raise the funding in order to make it be available to the citizens. And sometimes when it's a little late, or if it's a little late at the councils where the people have to collect it, you hear some people complaining because why? They relying on it. And here Mr. Man is talking about how all of those things would literally crash. And their attempts that they have made over the years, which is, one, taking the citizenship to court, the program to court, is an attempt to try to put a halt on it, right? Thanks God that has not happened. You know, hoping that the government would not raise the money for the international airport, because all the talk they're talking about is the Chinese that funding the project. They know it's the CBI that is funding it. And they know in their hearts and in their minds that if the CBI came to a halt, obviously the airport project would have been impacted too. So why then, the UWP who went to take a loan of $140 million, committing the royalties of Cable and Wireless and Domlec, and not to mention the fact that they took the Dominican citizen pension money, according to my brother Clarence there, to go and put into that same fund. You know, why would they, having gone through such an extra mile to commit the people of this country on the premise of building an airport that they never really delivered to the people, but they delivered a jet to the people, why then would they be working so hard, I mean, to try to destroy the very thing that he knew would cause the difficulty? And you see, they have been doing that on the premise that, with the hope that if that happened, Clarence, they would get an opportunity and Dominicans would say, well, it's Labour fault, put us in power.
Very early in this, when this visa thing came up, Thompson started preaching doom and gloom and blaming CBI because he wanted to see CBI dead. So he was happy. Thompson went on a program with a guy, he calls the report, I think he's in Washington, Bob Report, Washington or Miami, what's in the US, Bob Report. And he and Harold Lovell was the person, the leader, former leader of the United Progressive Party in Antigua, and the caretaker of one of the seats in Antigua, and the former Minister of Finance in Antigua. He was there on the program, blaming the CBI, blaming our operation of the CBI. And Harold Lovell, the statesman, an opposition person, Antigua is involved in this thing, and the statesman that he is, and came out bluntly and clearly and put Thompson Fontaine in the shade. CBI is not responsible. That's what he said. CBI is not responsible for what is happening. It is not CBI. So let us leave CBI alone. It is not CBI. That's what the man tell Thompson. Thompson put himself in a shell. And then he went to explain why the Cuban doctors, China relations, all the other islands have CBI. They those that do not have things like St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent, not St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenada, and St. Kitts Nevis, right? Have CBI. Why is this two? And then Harold Lovell was blunt and said, this is what. So I felt, I say, here it is, an opposition member wanting to form the government and is already on a program telling people that is not CBI because it is no way placing CBI. CBI is whatever it is not CBI. Thompson Fontaine, knowing what the CBI is doing in Dominica.
Yeah.
In his effort to stop, in his effort to damage, in his effort to put a black eye on the CBI, will go out of the way to destroy the country. And you know what he was saying? When he was, what he would have done if he was, he could not say what he would have done. What else? What different he would have done? He could not say that.
Well, I don't.
Because he had no clue of what he would have done.
I don't think they have any idea of what they would do, you know. What I believe they know is how to attack and try to, with the hope that the people of Dominica will suffer. Because if you know you're attacking something, and you know that the thing you're attacking is putting bread on the table of so many people. Because he know all these things that he mentioned there that would be affected if the CBI these funds were to be halted. He knows that it is the ordinary Dominicans. So when they're talking about Dominicans not benefiting from the CBI, they know that this is a major income contributor towards these programs. But it is because they are praying, in the words of the Prime Minister, for the worst. And they always climb on the ladder whenever they see something showing. You know, because I'm telling you, for the first couple of days, when the announcement was made about this visa thing on Antigua and Dominica, it's like I was just following social media.
Yeah.
And these fellas were burning social media and trying to burn the CBI. And they call, according to them, CBI finished.
Yep.
It dead.
Yes.
You know, not realizing that the Caribbean countries has come together and put laws in place to govern how the CBI program and to preserve it, to protect it, because all of the member states understand the importance of the program.
No, but Simon, they did not only come together, you know. They brought in the Treasury Department, the US people. They brought them in, the EU people, the British people. They brought them in to help them to formulate the laws.
That's right.
So it's not a situation where they did it on their own.
No.
So hence the reason why, Simeon, I at the very beginning when I heard the news, I was a little concerned. But then later on, after going through the different documents, I realized this is not about CBI.
It's not about CBI.
And later on, the the evidence surfaced.
Yes.
That it definitely wasn't about CBI. And Simeon, I mean, this statement was in 2022. I mean, this is interesting to know, Clarence.
Yeah.
2020.
This statement was in 2022. We always knew that the airport is not going to be built.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
in 2022. You know?
Yeah, that's what they were telling Dominicans.
So you understand the doom and gloom. 2022, we are in 2026 now.
Yes.
And as Clarence indicated, you're seeing structures going up. The tunnel is being built. I walked on the runway.
The runway is
I walked on the runway, you know. And in 2022, these guys are telling us that they always knew. So, which means that they were basically praying that this CBI thing would collapse.
Yeah.
And then would not be able to get the funds to fund the infrastructural project. Will not be able to get the funds to help out so many people that are in need. When we talk about the Yes We Care program, when we talk about the NEP program and all the other social programs, scholarships for the children who are going to study overseas.
The university graduates
You
in every
understand?
home.
And you are aware that this program is so impactful, yet you're praying for it to collapse.
No, just
so
yes, Clarence.
Okay, you have a house. I have the house. You're my brother. You want to take the house from me because our parents left the house. I am staying in it, but you want to take it from me. What you going to do? You're going to burn down the house. So when you burn down the house, neither me or you have a house, you know.
But all of us lose.
We'll both of us lose. So this is the same thing Thompson Franklin is doing.
Yes.
You outside, you want to come inside. The CBI is helping the one that is inside now. So you want to come in. You want to come inside. So what you doing? Destroying the CBI. So when you come inside, what?
Yeah.
When you come inside, what?
Well, the people again will be the ones that are going to be suffering. You know, I mean, and that is the fundamental point there, you know. You see, there comes a time when you can fight against your country because you have a just cause. But when you're fighting against something that the very farmers of this country who did not contribute to Social Security, but for some reason reach an age where they can no longer work, had no income, they are living in a dilapidated state where their housing is not in good state. They were still living in the age of pit latrine. But the government come together because of its program now, is able to build a proper home for these people to live in. That's why today thousands of Dominicans across Dominica are living in a much better condition than they were then.
That's right.
Because the government is able to generate the money under the program to fund it and to be able to hand over these homes to these people where they do not have a loan, but they can live more comfortable with their family. These are the things that Sticky Finger Fountain is fighting against. Making sure that these people who are living in and had no social security can have an income every month in their hands. And these fellas are aware that they are fighting against the very people who they want to say to them, remove the Labour Party and put them in power. Put them in power to do what?
To put them back in the same situation where they Wednesday were before.
For the misery to continue.
Continue.
No, it's misery the man want to bring on Dominicans, you know. That's what UDP did when they were there for the little couple of months there. Every policy and direction they took brought us under an IMF program that caused great suffering. Dominicans suffered. Yes, because those who remember getting their salaries late, not being able to be guaranteed a job because why, you know, you couldn't go to the bank and take a loan because the bank wasn't sure whether you'd be in employment or out of a job because of the very stabilization program and the sort of regiment and programs that had to be ongoing at the time in the country. So here it is, we are in 2026 now. What is Thompson Fountain about? What is he doing? So in 2022, he said we always know that the airport wasn't going to be built. He always knew that it wasn't going to be built. He also knew that all of the government programs would have come to an end because why? At that time to him, the CBI, they were working so hard to make sure that they were bringing all kind of people to tell, they might even go as far as saying 10,000 passports left the airport, you know, in a bag, in a briefcase, you know. But you know what passport you have to carry there when you have to carry. They were making all sorts of allegations. They brought a criminal white man named Kenny Frijok from wherever he come out there in the United States and have him on Q95 trying to tell Dominicans that there is so much corruption in this country, so much corruption in our program that he knows of an ambassador. That was a blatant lie. We came and we attacked that one time. We destroyed it. They never came back with it. But they peddled it in an effort now to try to sway the mind of the people of this country into believing that what they were trying to say about our program. Now, look at where we are now in 2026. Clarence said in the beginning of the program that the airport, the runway is pretty much visible now for the eyes to see. The terminal building, everything is going up. The last visit that the Prime Minister had there, many of us who saw what was going on the ground realized that this airport is happening, people. No. Sticky Finger Fountain and the UWP now. They are seeing the airport is happening and that Dominicans are going to get the airport as promised in the manifesto by the Dominican Labour Party, that the Labour Party will deliver on the airport. What is Sticky Finger Fountain and others up to? Listen to that, people. Listen to that.
It is very, very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. We are witnessing an ecological disaster in the making, no question about it. The once stable and steady mountainsides have been ripped apart.
Yeah, so here he is on the project site of the international airport at Des-Bois now, talking about this so-called ecological disaster. That is the impression Fountain want to give the world. He goes there and does a live and looks at the project and all the mitigating measures that are being put in place to ensure that there is no sort of ecological disaster. But he brands it in this way to give the world the impression that there is something wrong again about the very project that is going on.
But Simeon, you have to tell people, that is the very project in 2026, what he here now saying, in 2022, what he was saying, he know, they knew, the UWP know that the airport is not going to be built.
Yes.
They know, they knew in 2022, he telling people that in the recording you play in 2022. That is why we record them, you know, so that we can come back to it and keep it in our archive so that we can come back to it. In 2022, the airport had not given us comments yet, you know. All the guys were doing on the site was setting up their living quarters, their laundry quarters, their food quarters, the kitchen for guys to stay, their houses to stay. That is what they would do in the area, things where the offices are. That is what they were working on in 2022.
So they were.
As a matter of fact, I wasn't even up there yet. I studied up there. I wasn't there yet. No, we are close.
You didn't know if you would be.
I would know if I was going to be up there. I did not know.
So here he is now trying to give you the world impression now that, you know, the government is trying to destroy the whole of Dominica. You know, but then what did he do in 2026? You know now. What is Thompson Fountain calling for? So he said we always knew then that the airport is not going to be built, which means that Sapaka Ifet, yes, Ayepaka Fet. Now listen to him now in 2026.
As you know, we have called for the complete halt to this project. We believe that it is absolutely hurting the country. I don't know if you can see above. We're trying to get a better shot for you to see how disrupted it is. If you can see.
So he is calling in 2026 now for a halt
to the project
of the quarry now that is required. So the UWP attacked the first quarry site where Edison and his big plans to generate his millions from while he was Prime Minister was in play. They curtail the amount of time that the company can develop, can retrieve the material that they need from that site. Now another site had to be, of course, in an emergency. You had to act in an emergency because the project has to be completed by 2027. That is the time frame in which the contractor has to deliver the project. So in the interest of time, the government had to think fast. And the physical planning division and land and surveys and all the technical people came together and allocated a site. A small portion in 107 acres, in 190,000 acres, for the purpose of, extracting the material that they would need in order to carry out the project. They have put in all sorts of investment there. Sticky Finger watching it. He telling people, watch all that millions that's spent there. Why are they spending all? Of course, they are spending it there to make sure that, the soil does not get into the road, because the UWP was concerned about mud on the road. Then they were concerned about the river getting dirty. Now they realize none of that is going to happen, because why? The professionals were on site. I was present when they were speaking to them and telling them. And all the technical people they have on their side, an engineer like Annie Edwards, physical planner, and all those people there, had absolutely no questions to ask the physical planning division and the forestry division, who had the professionals there who explained what they are doing on site. They are allowing the company to put in all of the infrastructure to make sure that when they begin extracting the material from there, that it do not have any major diverse impact on our rivers or on our environment. Now, here he is up there now in 2026 asking for a complete halt now, Caressa. So the airport building now, they cannot stop the airport anymore, but they're still trying. These fellas are still trying to see how they can prevent Clarence. And Fontaine and the UWP, Fontaine is now the leader of the UWP. And you see the same pattern from very long time to today continue. So why are you trying now to stop? And Clarence, every political party that vie for election in Dominica told Dominicans they wanted to build an airport for them.
But Simeon, I started going up to Wesley around May, June 2023. Right? About that time. Or it could be later. I can't remember. It could be later than that. About the second half of 2023. I'm driving through Wesley. You don't see anybody in Wesley demonstrating.
No.
You don't see anybody in Wesley with a placard.
No.
You don't see anybody in Wesley. The road has dust, the water in the road and things, so I never seen. The only time I saw people demonstrating in Wesley is on a Wednesday, a couple of Wednesdays when we had the Wednesday walkers.
Yeah.
Afi Martin and the Blue Blues and things so. A few of them who just below the police station there and things so.
Yes.
They had their thing walking around and demonstrating. Wesley people were not with them.
No.
Right?
No.
So Wesley people have satisfied themselves the project is happening. They accepted the project is happening. Yes, there is dust.
Right.
But every measure is being done to mitigate against the dust. They have trucks watering the road, watering the place all the time.
Clarence, I went on the project site, and I'm telling you, what I see up there, really, we should, the government should, in the first place, should not have had to go there and spend that kind of money. The people of Dominica, the taxpayers of the country and the government should not have had to go there and spend that kind of money to extract this material. Because the site in which Edison and the UWP had plans of using for the airport they had borrowed the money for it could have supplied all the material. And it would have even been cheaper for Dominica, because why? The cost to extract the material from where they are going to take it now I'm sure, Clarence, it will be in the millions.
But it has been, because you have to bring in a new crusher. You have to bring in other excavators, because you're going to operate two sites. Right? So that is the, it's more expensive. It's a lot more work. You have a different set of people working to work the two sites. And now you have to operate this. Anytime you get crusher start working, it has to work 24/7.
Yeah.
Because to get this, the quantum, you're talking about 500 cubic meters of aggregate.
That is needed for the airport.
That is needed. 500,000 cubic meters.
Yes, I.
That is required because it's a vast expanse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say you can bring in the stones from the type of stones you need. And I tell people, the type of stones on the West Coast, the Chinese have tested it. They put it in their lab. But they did all kind of tests on it. It is too soft.
But Clarence, even if you had to take these stones from the West Coast to bring all the way to Wesley Woodford, I mean, you know the cost that would be. So you want to mitigate against that cost. Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why they had to, the initial spot where Edison had plans for, the European had plans for, when they were building the airport, Kwapo Hall, was much closer.
Much closer, yeah.
And it would have been less expensive for the government to be able to supply that this volume of material that is necessary for the construction of the airport. But the UWP is trying to make it more difficult. This is one of the and this thing about we the people are going to are calling for a halt. Who are we the people they're talking about now? I went up there before you come in, Carissa, and I took a look at the few people that are there. And I'm saying, but wait now, but let Thompson tell us he and who that there.
Dave Wash, I've been here for a few hours now, spending some time with Nasio and others who've come out today. We've seen other people come a few minutes ago. Joshua Francis on his way to the airport stopped by. Matt is currently doing his live show from there. Blessings is there with us. And a gentleman, very interesting.
But I mean, them man going to wake up Nasio where Nasio was. So we know Nasio not really was in the man thing. But somehow, one of them they're going to wake up Nasio and make Nasio think he's fighting for some kind of thing. But look at the names he call. You know, these are the people that walk the Wednesday walkers. You remember them walking Rosa every Wednesday?
Yeah.
The Wednesday walkers, until some of them say they tired, follow them. So they're no longer walking with them again. You know? These are the people that, let's see who's on the telephone there. Caller, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. Boy, let me tell you, is it the bunch of UWP? There's something we call in a face of Bashali. Take them and go and down, then we would die and somewhere close to wherever. Because them tell us they have no care, they have no command, they have nothing to get in the ball. So we don't want them. Tell them we don't want them.
Yes, I. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and you have a right to tell them you don't want them. Because Europe is not offering any solution to Dominica's problem. They're preaching, you know, and hoping, as the Prime Minister said, and praying for Dominica to fail. For everything to go bad. For Dominica, like as if things go bad for Dominica, it's not going to affect the people. The very people they're going about and calling them poor and referring to them as greedy, as mendicant, as all kind of words they have called prostituting themselves. They have used all these words to refer to the people of this country, you know. And then now you are seeing that the airport, all you were saying that would have never been built.
But in 2022, Thompson Fountain was verifying what UWP has decided,
you know,
that the airport was not going to be built in 2022.
And then you find yourself now
in
outside
2026
there for all them hours, according to him. Hours! Ça qu'a fait in des branches pour tout seigneur du temps ça là. Book ça là, rien à faire. Go and plant the same land all you say the country have that need to be cultivated. You know, put something in it.
No, but comrade, if you knew for a fact that the airport is not going to be built, why are you really wasting your time at the bush for?
You know,
because you knew for a fact
that
the airport is not going to be. But I mean, on a more serious note, I believe in the hearts of the United Workers Party and followers. They know exactly. They know that the airport is going to be built. They know that the airport is going to be built. But what I suspect the leadership is doing, they're trying to stop the progress of the construction.
Yeah.
And they tried different method, and
Yeah.
you have to look at where they started. The first time, the first area I remember is when they were trying to get the people to rise up at Wesley.
Yeah.
So they would
Yeah.
try it because they wanted to stop it at the initial stage by
Right.
getting the people to rise up.
Yeah.
But the people realize, hey man, an airport is coming right in my backyard there. I mean, we're talking about work. We're talking about opportunities for our young people. I mean, we cannot rise up against the airport. So the people did not follow them.
Right.
And then when they realized that they fell short in that area, they decided to go after the main source of funding, which is the CBI, because they thought that if the CBI were to collapse, then the airport would stop. But again, things did not work out that way. And now, what they're doing, they're going at the material to build the airport, which is attacking the
Quarry, the debauchery. First of all,
you understand? So there's actually a pattern as to the different ways and means these guys are trying to stop the construction of the airport.
Let me take this caller briefly. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Just Mr. have an American passport, and he have illegal contest election. Period.
Yeah, we'll find out later about that one. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yes.
So Carissa, you raised a fairly good point. What would drive Edison James from putting an injunction or seeking an injunction on the court to stop a quarry the very same place where you were going to have your quarry?
To slow down the project.
To slow down the project.
Slow down the project.
To stop the place, the very same place where you're going to crush your stones.
Yeah.
What could have done that? So you win because you see it is being built. You see work is happening.
Yeah.
So you want to stop it because the material you wouldn't be able to get it. You succeeded in curtailing the operations of the quarry and the crusher. You succeeded.
Yeah.
My God, the government is getting another place where they can get the desired stones of the density. And as I tell people, I heard thing call it iron stone. Lennox Only Church call it iron type of stone.
Wash fair.
That's how we call it in Patois, in Pishla. That's how I know it. Wash fair. So that's where the wash fair is. And if you want wash fair, you can get it there in Dominica. I mean, bro, for me, in fact, let me
hold on the for me, Pat. Yeah, caller, good evening, yes. That's what you was going to say. Good evening, yes.
Good evening to you, good evening to you. I'm Clarence. Good evening to you, Clarence.
Good evening.
Let me tell you something. Something, and all his supergrams. They said that the stadium wouldn't build, and it did do. And they don't want to stop the airport for stopping sake. They want to stop the airport because of the Prime Minister. Is who that going to build it, that give the idea to build it. That is what they're trying to do. They don't want to build it. They don't want to stop it because they want to stop it. They want to stop it by mischievers. They're mischievers. But they can do what they want. We have customers hearing them saying things are not going to do, and it is doing. This stadium was not going to do, and it do. Hospital was not going to build it, bill. And all I can tell them, we don't want them, and we will not vote for them again. They're out, and they are out because they do too much things to Dominica. They said too much things to Dominica. They destroyed Dominica reputation. And our airport is there, and it has to finish, and it's going to finish. So tell Thompson Fontaine, I Sukwesakele, Vanche Boy, and leave our Prime Minister and let us put our head together for us to build for our effort to finish, for us to fly on it. Tell Thompson Fontaine, no way, don't say. Give us a break. Give us a break in our country, and good night to you, Prime Minister, and good night to you, my parents, and to all my Lagos fans. I'm listening to you all in God. God, good night.
Yeah.
Continue with the all.
Yes.
Continue with your program, a very good program. I'm listening. I'll call back.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for your contribution here. Yes, I mean, and the people of Dominica have to speak up because, I mean, the fact is that let's take the call there as well. Let's see the telephone. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Yes, I call back.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask Thompson Fountain, the lying economics, doom and gloom, sticky finger. I want to send a clear message to him. When the country collapsed within this year, 2026, he asking for collapse in this country, Dominica. Let the Heavenly Father give my Prime Minister the wisdom to develop this country. He that doom and gloom, asking for collapse. Can he, who say he's opposition leader, where is he going to get money to develop this country? Where is he going to continue the airport where it collapsed? Who's going to give him money? He cannot even repay the gas money he took from the young people. He go to Sudan. He see what happened in Sudan. He never go back. He work with IMF. He have money to develop Dominica when it collapsed. I say to that sticky finger, doom and gloom. If you don't know what to say, shove the big black hole in his face. This man aggravated people. He cannot do nothing for Dominica. He is only walkie-talkie. What kind of economics that is? A woman he is. Only there to grab. But he will not come in. There is no way he will go and sit in that financial center on the Prime Minister's seat. Not him. Neither none of his colleagues. Those other demons like him will not sit. And another message I want to send out. So that's what I call him again now. Squarehead in Veka in Salisbury. The squarehead in Salisbury who's saying that the asking for the Prime Minister to send the man back to America, the criminal that killed the people. He asking and putting the blame on Prime Minister who's saying that the fella must go back to America. What is he talking about? Squarehead, you better behave yourself. You had the opposition and you give it up. Now you want to come back. You have a son. Teach him wisdom. Teach him to speak the truth and not to put doom and gloom in this country. Are you wicked? You WP? Or you say, right here you are.
Thank you, Mommy.
Criminal.
Thank you, Mommy. Have a blessed night. I think we have our comrade Senior Counsel there on the platform there with us. Senior Counsel, are you there with us? Good evening to you, comrade. You can come on.
Yes, I am. I am Simeon.
Yes, welcome. Yes, of course, we have our comrade.
I'm good to go.
Yeah, Essie there with us. Essie, welcome, brother. Welcome. You heard the Prime Minister's response to the question asked by Matt Peltier with regard to Thompson Fountain, preaching, hoping and praying for the failure of this country. I mean, your take on all of what we've been playing and what you've heard so far, Essie?
Well, I mean, I found it so astonishingly stupid that he would make a statement like that with the significant developments and projects and construction taking place in the country right now. And in addition to that, it's always, they come up with the same story, and it's not the first time we've had to respond to that. Every single year, deposits and savings in the banks increase. Every single year, savings within the last 10, 15 years. Savings in credit unions increase, including during the COVID period. And I think that if I am to sensibly tell you and Clarence and Caressa as intelligent men that the country is on a cliff of collapse, I would have to show you government's inability to pay its debts, like the toilet paper and the water and the electricity that the UWP government had, that monies were being I want to take a note that people are withdrawing their money from their savings and the deposits in the banks and the credit. So you have a run on the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Could the Social Security can't meet the obligations, can't do this because there's a significant decline in contributions. We've had, how should I put it, gone from 20 million to close to 80 million in contributions to the Social Security since Roosevelt Scarlett been Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the National Cooperative Credit Union celebrating having breached the $500 million worth of assets and so on.
Mm-hmm.
We've had credit unions in Marigot, in the West Coast, and in the formerly the San Alfonso's that have savings and deposits in the millions of dollars. You have the IMF telling us that we've had significant growth the last couple of years, and that we're going to have the second highest level of economic growth in the CARICOM after Guyana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to know, well, what is he talking about? He's supposed to be an economist. What is he talking about? You have the private sector literally booming in Dominica in a small economy with a small population. That tells you that there's money circulating in the country. The government has prudently managed the affairs of the economy, has prudently managed the funds from the Citizenship by Investment Program. And if you want to think about it even in any greater detail, we went through a trough in 2010, Erica in 2015, 2017 Maria and COVID. And the country never fell down on its face, never failed to meet its obligations. In fact, the government was able to recover from Maria within 4 years when the experts were talking about 20, 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I want to focus on the strength of the credit unions and on the banks. We have billions of the assets and savings and so on in the banks are in the billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If in a small country like Dominica, a national cooperative credit union can have over $747 million worth of assets, tells you a story.
Yes, yes, yes.
In fact, I was having a discussion with somebody working in a credit union in Antigua, who I know well.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about, usual thing about politics and so on. I said, well, I don't really look too much on the concrete side. I look at the soft belly of the economy, which is the credit unions and the bank savings and deposits and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And once these are strong, and they are very strong because 53% of the loans issued by financial institutions last year, 53% came from the credit unions, not from the commercial banks.
There you go.
What does that tell us?
Mm-hmm.
A credit union that was seen as, how should I put it, the economic veins of the working class, the farmers, the hucksters, and so on.
Ordinary people.
Ordinary working people and so on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Including professionals and so on,
mm-hmm.
have become the backbone of the financial digestive system of the economy. When you can have all of these savings and deposits and be responsible for 53% of the loans that were issued by the financial institution, that tells you how strong the economic bloodline of the country is. Tourism developing, tourism is growing, agriculture is good. I heard you all talk either in the morning or at night. I heard you all talking about the Minister of Agriculture talking. I thought he was very good.
Yeah, he was here with us apparently on our last program, addressing the issue of what's happening in agriculture.
It was on your program. I thought he was very,
yes.
He didn't sound like a politician. He sounded like an agriculturalist giving a lecture on agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
But his information was very pertinent and important, indicating the drive of the government to try to get agriculture to contribute that to GDP ratio at the rate of $600 million.
I think it's 700 they're aiming at. Yeah.
It's 700 now. Well,
yes.
that tells you something.
Yeah.
One of the highest years we had in 2016 was 242. That's another $600 million. The minister and the team have to crank up and get going. But it tells you how the economy is diversified. You have cruise ships, you have stayover hotel guests, you have the international media pushing Dominica as the place to be for 2026 and so on. You have hotels being built, bed and breakfasts. You have the marina being built, you have the airport being built, you have the geothermal being built, you've had schools being built, you've had houses being built, you've had health wellness centers in every constituency and so on. Only somebody whose mind is completely crushed with bias or some high polluting type of drug could say to you that Dominica is on the verge of collapse.
I mean, Senior Counsel, you mentioned schools. I believe there are 6 or 7 schools under construction as we speak now, currently. That has not been officially handed over or completed. The cable car is still under construction. The international airport is under construction. The marina is under construction. You have the road highway to Grand Bay under construction as we speak now. Not to mention several of the hotels that are still.
You had that hotel that was just opened.
Yeah. Hotel Oasis, Ocean Oasis, yes.
Congratulations to the guy, well done.
Yes.
I've seen videos and photographs taken from people there, and I think it's a very impressive place.
Very much so.
Fortune, it's there. You have Jungle Bay. You have Secret Bay. You have Intercontinental. I mean, these are high brand boutique hotels now recognized in the world.
That's right. That's right.
We are being promoted as a peaceful country, as a country that has a tremendous amount to offer you, like lakes, rivers, warm water pools, the people up in Loda and so on, and the whale sanctuary, the Waitikimuli Trail, the Boiling Lake. I can safely tell you, as a Dominican born and bred, the lightest I felt, the most warm I've ever felt about myself, my family, my friends, and my country, and so on, was when I would go on guided tours in the bush. Just taking a look at the parrots, at the local orchids, the indigenous orchids, and so on, going in the river, going in the warm water pools by my partners up there in Loda and so on. You're like in the Garden of Eden, and that's a perfect title for any book that's about Dominica.
Oh, yes.
It's
a paradise.
So go ahead, Conrad.
No, I was saying Dominica is a paradise. I mean, when you travel through the interior of this country, even when I went to the Tuesday morning, I went to pay a visit to the quarry that is under construction there currently. When I was traveling, you're looking at all this. One of the things Dominica have, Senior Counsel, a lot of mountain hills and valleys, we have
Eugenia thought that was going to be a barrier to the development of the country. What Roosevelt Skerritt has done.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Because
every premier, chief minister, prime minister before him wanted to do. They didn't get the time. They didn't get the resources. They didn't have whatever was necessary to get it done. He has gotten it done with new hospitals, new clinics, new schools, new hotels, new airport, new this, new that. But I want to deal with an issue that you all were dealing with before I came on.
Go right ahead.
You don't need an airport, right?
Yeah.
Bossman, if that was true, if that was a sensible statement of fact, why is it that every premier, chief minister, prime minister we've had, his or her political party had in their manifesto the desire to build an international airport, to take Dominica to the next level, because that is what Dominica needed. That was the engine Dominica needed.
That's right.
And the generator was the airport. Why is it that every other country that has the space and the land and so on has international airports built years ago? Why should Grenada and St. Lucia and Antigua and St. Kitts and the other St. Vincent have international airports and not us? And we are seeing a drive in tourism that we've never seen before.
Right.
We have American Airlines coming in. We have United coming in on a small airfield. Wait till the international airport opens. It's the gateway. You know, Mr. Ducre used to talk about the seminal, the geothermal.
Nan Ducre.
It's going to be a Nan Ducre going to be. I've never forgotten him. A seminal project that's going to affect every single Dominican live and for generations to come, with the cost and the alternative energy and so on. Especially now that we want to be climate resilient, a green country and so on. All right. The airport is 10 times the seminal impact or effect or consequence on our economy when it starts. And I don't understand why there should be this objection. Well, I do. Historically, they've objected to everything, to Yes We Care, to pit latrine, to housing revolution, to access to potable water, to the Red Clinic. They've objected to everything. They objected to every single possible thing that could be for the benefit of the people of the country. So it's not a surprise.
No.
But the airport is such a major step forward. I mean, Lennox Honeychurch wrote a paper. I'm sorry I missed his type on the radio. If he's hearing me, I wish he could send it to me again. Lennox Honeychurch has sent me an article going back, way back, when politicians in office then were talking about an international airport and the different locations they got for the location of the airport. And we are building an airport. Listen, let me whisper it, Simeon, so people don't get frightened. Without increased taxation.
I tell you.
Without commercial loans. Remember how they kiboshed the economy with $120 million from the banks in St. Lucia, Trinidad?
Yeah, 140 million, yes.
140 million. That was for the airport. But not a cent was spent on the airport, Simeon. Not a blade of grass was cut. Not a bag of cement opened. Not a excavator on the land.
No.
The land will remain virgin jungle bushland.
Yes.
Nobody touched it for these days. But they had video of a plane taking off in Roseau.
Yeah.
Going up the hill there by Carry FM. Why would every political leader we've ever had would say that his ambition is, or her ambition is, an international airport? And when the British, the French, and somebody else was going to help Dominica, Edison James wrote a letter to the Americans and tell them, don't come, that's political interference when they left.
Yes.
That would have cost the government nothing. But Edison James then went to borrow $140 million to hang around the necks of Dominicans for generations. I wonder if we're still paying for it.
Yeah, we may still be paying for it. I have not gotten any information that we have, because that was a 140 million plus the sort of interest that would have been built on top of that, you know. And remember, these guys never made any payment to it themselves.
They never did, but the first interest payment under the treasury bond from the banks, they couldn't meet it.
Right.
They couldn't meet it. And we are getting an airport funded by the Citizenship and Investment Program. And there's let me not just raise any issues with the cases, because I don't want to put myself in a conflict.
Right.
But what's the issue? There comes a time, Simeon, there must come a time in a politician's life, especially in opposition, to reach across the Rubicon and to extend your hand to the Prime Minister, as he did to them after Erica and Maria. And say, PM, this is not a workers, a UPP, a Labour Party. That's a matter of the integrity of the country, the progress of the country. Let us work together. He brought them in before. They're not interested in working together. Daryl Titch said to me that they were more interested in coffee and sandwich and top-up and car to rent and so on than they were in the affairs of the state. But people must rally around the country and the flag and the project and the government. When the government's interest is to develop the nation and to create a next level bridge so that we can reach the level of development where every prime minister, premier and chief minister we had thought that they could do it, but they didn't and they couldn't, and they passed away and passed off before they could do it.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
George Carrick is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he stays there for a long time.
I tell you, man.
You know?
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is something that I've dealt with in Antigua.
Mm-hmm.
This thing about saying, oh, it's the CBI, that's the problem. The CBI, that's the problem.
Yes, yes.
Comrade, since 2023, the Secretary to the Treasury of the United States, other senior officials have been in collaboration and discussions and negotiations with the five prime ministers and the 5 citizenship and investment units. In 2003, they agreed to the 6 cardinal principles. They had 2 more meetings in 2024 where they discussed things like residency, more enhanced the due diligence, provisions preventing you from changing your name, and other stuff, major stuff. Successful, the officials from the British United Kingdom were present, from the European Commission were present. They agreed on a whole protocol of provisions, and the CBI Regulatory Authority being a regional institution to give greater transparency to the process and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And that agreement, 81 pages, was signed by the governments, all 5 of them, and legislated into law.
Right.
It's the law of Dominica now. The proclamation says, well, you know, you have a problem there because there's no obligation for residents and so on. That was negotiated with the American Deputy Secretary to the Treasury. Part of the agreement and now part of the laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact, and there's nothing to suggest that Dominican, with knowledge of anything, approved any application to people that may pose an economic threat to the United States at all. That's never happened. You've had odd instances like the Chomsky matter in Antigua, where after the citizenship has been granted, it comes out in India that he's wanted by the Indians for the Ponzi scheme or whatever it was and so on. But the reason given for the proclamation, which is the first one I'm referring to, was the absence of certain matters in the legislation, which was in fact in place before the proclamation was made. And then when the other thing came now about the bond, payment of a bond, it's a discretionary bond. Not everybody is going to have to pay it. And so it could be between 5, 10, or 15 and so on. But the reason given by the State Department was that people were coming in from these 73 countries, staying in their countries, and benefiting from programs that were designed solely for citizens and not immigrants that were there on visas and so on. Again, no finger pointed to any misconduct by Prime Minister Skerrit or by Prime Minister Gaston Brown.
Right.
But in any event, people need to understand that every sovereign state has the right to make whatever decision they think necessary to protect their borders.
That's correct.
And that deports people who break the law. I'm sure Dominica has deported people that have...
Of course. I mean, immigration that has happened there. That has happened almost every country, yes.
So, but what I wanted us to do, what I wanted to do now, and what I did in Antigua last week on the radio, I think I went on 3 times, is to say that the machinations and the allegations being made by the opposition are not accurate.
It's not at all.
Are not accurate.
I mean,
absolutely not accurate.
I mean,
anyway, I think I've said enough. There's something else y'all were discussing, but I can't remember it now.
Yeah.
There's one more point I wanted to deal with.
Yeah, I was saying even at the press conference when one of the I think it was Kalai John Baptist who was putting the question to the Prime Minister, realized that even in his line that he admitted that this whole issue has nothing to do with the CBI. I mean, people have come to realize that the way the UWP was peddling this thing in the initial stage of it, and having understood better what is at play, that that the general public, the sentiment now is different than how they were peddling it initially.
Well, that's good to hear, because the vast majority of the 35 and the vast majority of the 73 states have no citizenship by investment program.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So it brings into play.
And for your listeners to be aware of, and for you all on the front line not to forget, the collaboration with the Americans went on for 2 years.
Right.
2023, 2024, 2025. It led to an agreement, and that agreement was legislated into law.
That's correct. So this is not.
So I don't think we should,
Yeah. Well, I think in your council, I mean, people are seeing how this whole thing is operating right now, and they have. But what is interesting, SC, is the fact that those who are vying for Dominicans to put them in the bid to run this country are climbing on all these negatives very quickly. They don't.
They've always done.
Yeah.
They've always done.
Yeah.
Remember Weekly Blitz, CBS.
Yeah. 60 Minutes.
Jock, Kenny Free Jock.
Guyana on the tarmac.
Yeah, I mean. But I've explained that in Antigua, and I'll explain it here again. The reason why they are negative, destructive, critical, not critical, but dishonest in the dissemination of allegations and so on, is because they have nothing positive and constructive that they can say to the people that would match or be better for the nation as a whole than the policies of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit.
All right.
If you can't beat a man in cricket, you want to because you're bowling, you're not bowling properly. You're going to start pelting. Well, they pelting. Because they simply do not have. You listen to the budget debates. You listen to debates on legislation in Antigua and Dominica. And it's the same thing.
Yes.
It's the same old story from 1995 about thieving, about who do thief, who is thief, and how much, look at Mr. Shirt and all kind of thing. The people want a credible alternative. The people want a credible alternative, and they try to be very smart. They were doing an interview with Matt, I think it was Hickory, the fellow from the Freedom Party. Oh, there's some good to be done, let's clap them. And when you look at what they were saying was done, it's probably a 5% of what was actually done throughout the country by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit.
That's true. That's true. They never touched the volume.
The wellness centers, the hospital, the schools, the wellness centers, the housing, the homes, the hospital, the airport, the marina. I like to mention the whale. Marina, because Prime Minister Skerrit may forget because he gets it all now. But I remember speaking to him about the whaling. How could Dominica, with our natural environment and whales out there, support Japan in the killing of whales at the Whaling Commission? And he came up with the position to I hope I'm not sending out information, but to abstain. When we have what we have, my brother, and what we have because of Roosevelt Skerrit, after troughs, Erica, Maria, and COVID.
Yeah.
What are you going to say that you could have done differently or better when you were in government from 95 to 1999 or 2000 with a team of players far more talented and experienced than what they have now. Former businessmen, plantation owners, engineers, Da Costa and Mason, the whole gang. Right?
Yeah.
And the country ends up bankrupt. And the country ends up having, by 2003, the highest levels of poverty and unemployment in its history after the 4.5 years of the United Workers' Party. That had to be rectified by Roosevelt Skerrit. Started off with the SPK program. And it's been one climb up the mountain of Zion every single year. He takes another step up. We should be eternally grateful that we've had a man like Roosevelt Skerrit as Prime Minister.
That's right.
What he has done to turn around a bankrupt country that took the lives of two Prime Ministers, Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles, two of my blessed friends, may they rest in peace, and take it right through to by 2008 when the next poverty assessment came out. Dominica had a significant reduction of poverty and unemployment in the midst of an IMF stabilization program. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And then the construction and the different things that he had to do. And look where we are now. Simeon, any Prime Minister, any Dominican that died 20 years ago, open the clouds, if God gave them permission to open the clouds to look down and see how Dominica did. We'll never recognize it.
That's true. It's a completely
We
different
have
place.
had a miraculous resurrection of our country after Maria and after Erica and after Maria and during COVID. It is nothing but an absolute magical resurrection, guided no doubt by the skill of Roosevelt Skerrit and the hand of God for all the prayers that we've been praying for the country. And before I end, there's one part I want to mention. After Maria, and that's when, well, let me leave out that's when thing. And my head's on the railing, and I think Jared Kuzlati was there. I don't think you had come at that time, Simeon.
No, I had not passed by yet, no.
My brother-in-law was there, Paul Laville and so on. And all I heard was, comrade, when I lift up, I see the Prime Minister there in his boots, with his fellows with him, I assume to be police officers, on the march to see the destruction. His home was damaged, his family's home was damaged. He put the country first. And he went out there and left the wife and kids, or kid at the time, I don't know how many he had at the time. Left them where they were to go and see what has happened. Went on a helicopter, flew to Antigua, cried, went to the United Nations, and delivered one of the greatest speeches from a Prime Minister in the Caribbean. Leadership matters, Simeon.
That's right. That's right.
Leadership matters. Leadership matters, and his leadership that we have had over the last from 2024 to 2026, we're not going to get another Roosevelt Skerrit in your lifetime or mine. And that's why we have to make sure that we stay focused and we stay disciplined and we continue to educate the people in this country. You and I have been doing this since 1997.
You did a very long time.
But I'm a little older than you. I don't have your energy or your strength anymore.
God bless you, man. He'll give you as much
So
as
you
you
have to
can.
keep going.
Indeed,
I can't
indeed.
come on every night right before with my profession and my family and so on.
We fully
So
understand
we have
this.
to keep going. Lloydie, Caressa, Mills, Julie, Lloydie, Donnie, the gang.
Yes.
If I miss out anybody's name, forgive me.
Yes.
Don't stop. Don't ever stop. Keep going. And I'm going to go now to say goodbye and talk to you later.
Thank you, Senior Counsel. Thank you again for always joining us and, of course, adding to the very important discussion that we are having as we discuss the development of Dominica. Let's see who's on the telephone there with us briefly there before we go to Lloydie there. Caller, good evening to you.
I know. Folks are not calling all you like that.
Yes.
Something. My Prime Minister is not an AWS. He's a very smart fellow, and he's really able. When it comes to affirmatives, mathematics, whatever I call it, he cannot come in our Prime Minister food. So tell him go back and do his homework to them.
Yes, I. All right, my brother. Thank you there, and thank you for touching base there. But we have our comrade Lloydie there with us. Lloydie, good evening to you, comrade. Welcome.
Good evening, Simo. Good evening to your listening audience. Good evening to your co-host, Caressa, and my good friend, Clarence. I hope you guys are doing good. You and your family.
Indeed.
And I just want to give my contribution. I want to go into the senior council. As usual, still in contribution with solid information, to the listeners. Simo, I want to touch a bit on your opening, your topic, the clip that you played.
Yes.
About the question that Matt asked the Prime Minister about the collapse of Dominica's economy. I think Dominica has one of the strongest economy in my head, because for the past 25 years, I've been hearing every year the country economy is going to collapse.
Yes, yes.
Every year it is going to collapse. It's going. That's the last year. Next year is doom and gloom. The people are going to be dying on the streets of Roseau of hunger, starvation. People are going to, the banks are going to go upside down because there is no money in the banks. People are going to, the economy is going to collapse every year. I've been hearing the same foolish, stupid rhetoric. And I would think, Simeon, that, you know, Thompson Fontaine, well, I'm not too sure, but I'm going to, based on what I've heard, an economist would know better than this. Now, it's one thing for a little fella on the side of the street, you know, maybe he take one or two, you know, in a bar and sit down talking a bunch of nonsense and say whatever he wants to say. But it's something else for somebody who supposedly should be an economist by profession, a PhD in economics. In economy, it's baffling, and it's a sorry song. It's a sorry, you know, time for him to be just talking nonsense. I don't get it, Simeon.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination, and Clarence can butt in there whenever he wants. You know, the standard economic growth for any developing country is between 2 to 3%.
Right.
So once you're below that, your economy is not doing too well. But once you're above 2% going up, then it shows clearly that you are on an upward trajectory, and your economy is becoming and is already healthy.
That's right.
Simeon, for the past 4 years, we have been getting reports from the IMF, from the World Bank, from East Caribbean Central Bank, from the CDB, telling us of Dominica economic growth, and we were well above at 1.6%.
That's right.
We were well above 6%. We came down to 4.5. We stay around 4, and we went back up to 5% for the last 4 or 5 years. And Simeon, for the last 4 or 5 years, we're coming from a disastrous hurricane called Maria, and right before that, Erika.
That's true.
It tells me that the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is an economic genius. For you to come on from under this disaster that has wiped out almost 275% of your growth, of your economic standard, and now you are right there, up in the 4.556% on a yearly basis. It tells me that the leadership of the country, you know, the stewardship of this country is above and beyond. It has surpasses everything that we can even think or imagine, Simeon.
And you're correct on that. You're very correct on that. I mean, let's just add a little more to that point that you are making there. I mean, the dark days that Thompson Fontaine is referring to, we experienced those dark days during Hurricane Maria, the significant impact that it had on the economy. But what happened after those dark moments came for the people of Dominica, where all our agriculture was destroyed, where 90 or so % of our housing stock was destroyed, where insurance companies could not even fund the people who were insured with them because of the catastrophic, damage that was done to this piece of land. And what has happened today? Today, you can barely recognize a trace of Hurricane Maria on this land. Because why? The government was able to step forward under the leadership of Prime Minister Skerrit and do all what was possible to make sure that the people of this country would have much more better resilient homes than they ever had. and to make sure that those who never had homes before have a home after that, and one that could withstand a Category 5, even a Category 6 hurricane. And so we have gone through dark moments with Erica, having to replace an entire village, you know. But that did not prevent the government from performing. To say the government put its hands up and Prime Minister Skerrit say, boy, what shall I do and know what to do? No, he stood up to the occasion, even if it never had a time when that had happened in our history, and make sure that an entire new village in Bellevue was really, really constructed for the citizenry of this community. And so when this fella's talking about Dominica failing, we have had occasions where it appeared that through natural disaster, man didn't have no control over that, but we had to face it anyway. But it's what you do after those moments that hit you. So it's like when Hurricane UWP had struck Dominica back in 98, 97, 98 into 1999, when they came in 95. When Hurricane UWP struck this country and the IMF told them that rather than seeing growth in the economy, difficulty and hardship would hit the citizens of this country based on the policy direction that they were taking in the country and the method of funding that they were identifying for the purpose of funding the projects they wanted to do, that they warned them that Dominicans would face serious difficulty and hardship. And for almost 10 years of the leadership of Labour Party, we struggled to reform, but to put this country on a footing that would ensure for over 20 years, let's say 15 to 20 years now, the IMF has not come back to this country to tell us that, hey, you have to cut public officers. Hey, you have to, you have to take what you call austerity measures against your citizens of this country. But rather, they have been commending the government on the plans that it have for Dominica, that the method in which it is using to develop this country's infrastructure, and they are estimating growth of over 4-point-something% annually based on the investment that the government is making in building the transformation projects that will help to transform the Dominica economy. So it is a vast difference. And with all of our institutions, you know, Tony mentioned the credit union, the National Bank, the banks, you know, the banks are not in the very same state of mind as they were back then under the UWP. The IMF had to tell the government to sell some of your shareholdings of the National Bank, because why? They did not want for a politician to do what the UWP had done to the National Bank, which was to almost bring it to its knees, where the citizens would have maybe even have their monies that in the bank running into problem. And so, it is a vast difference where our institutions have funding. They are all liquid. And Social Security is able to handle its business without no problem, because this government do not have to go in the pension fund of the working people of this country to take that money to go and say, go in and build no international airport. Rather, this government has put more money back in the hands of the people by lowering the income tax regime, by making sure that the citizens have a better takeaway pay, to even include the former prime ministers who, of course, today can go home with over $9,000 in their hands while still having a vehicle provided for them by the state. So how is it that they come in and talk about? So Prime Minister Skerrit has been tested. He has gone through the difficulty. He has gone through the hardship of this country, where he has brought the country back. And we lost 2 prime ministers, as Senior Counsel said, in the first 5 years of attempting to do that. And Prime Minister Skerrit came in and he took it, and today Dominicans can boast about Dominica developing. Very soon, we will enjoy geothermal. This is something that UWP said that would never happen. But they no longer say it will never happen, because the reality is there in their face today. So the test of really, of who can really stand up when the economy of this country or challenges, disaster or whatever, whether man-made or whether natural disaster would hit us. COVID came in, Prime Minister Skerrit navigate through it. And he kept the public officers at work. He kept making sure that people got their salary, people got their income, that no institution, local institution, would suffer because why? If it meant that the government had to contribute to this institution through a free national employment program in providing them with labor that would help them with their institutions while the government foot the bill. All of these things were done, including providing funding for some of the insurance companies who were not able to meet all the expectations of their client, but in an effort to make sure that people could rebuild. So when Sticky Finger Fountain, who has never built anything in his life, who may not even own a piece of land or a house, having all of the so-called master's degree he have and where he have worked and how much money he have made because everything he has done has failed. When this man come there and talking, he is nowhere close to standing in the feet of our Prime Minister who have really withstood all of whatever time and this world has thrown at him to make sure that the people of Dominica, our seniors, are able to sleep comfortable, they are able to have a good meal, have a good bath, that our children are able to go to school, that we have educated many of our young people, some who are serving from the Caribbean and the United States and the world by extension because of the schooling, the opportunity that this government has given them to further their education. So these guys are in absolutely no position, my brother Lloydie, to come there and question the ability of this government and more so this Prime Minister.
But Simo, you need to change your profession. I don't know if while you're doing your profession, you're doing some serious studies, because you have broken this down in layman's term. Every Dominican listening to that program tonight and listening to what you have just said, you have come across, you better teach Thompson Fountain a little bit about economics. Because you do a brilliant job at that, and that is what we are saying. Simeon, Dominica, the Prime Minister have taken Dominica from its darkest moment. When we could not see anywhere, any place, we couldn't see nothing. There was so much dark clouds hanging over the country economically. The Prime Minister rolled up his sleeves and he went to work, and that is why the CBI is so important. Because if it wasn't for the CBI, a lot of the programs and a lot of the support programs for the social programs that we have, the safety nets, social safety nets, would have maybe gone under, because but we have the balancing act, and the Prime Minister, in his brilliance, in his honesty, his knowledge of doing things, in his calmness, could pull the country from its darkest position and offer a glimmer and a spectrum of light. And that is where we are. And you spoke about the banks, the financial institutions. These guys are bursting through the seam in terms of their deposits and their assets at this present moment. The banks are now calling people, the credit unions are calling people to take loans because they have too much liquid. They are too liquid. Even how a country could be going under and the banks have so much liquid, and where's the money coming from? Is that from our natural, our local development sector, our local merchants, our local artisans and people working in the country, Simeon?
That's correct.
Isn't that why that's how the bank gets its money from? And you have a joker like Thompson Fountain that has no idea. The man went to South Sudan and literally left it in chaos, left it in a debacle, left it the people worse than where he met it. And Thompson Fountain is now a so-called, what he calls our economist, ecologist, environmentalist, a geologist. He's all the list and gist that you can think of, except for himself, even for his personal self, cannot put his act together as a human being, but want to tell us he can run the country, want to disparage and detest the work of the Prime Minister, and try and tell us we must put you in power. You don't deserve any political position in terms of our country. You don't deserve that. My dear friend, we got to continue to talk about this guy. And Simeon, I don't believe and I don't think we have enough people And some people, they say, oh, may not want, they may feel a bit shy to speak on radio. But we have people in the country, the women's desk, the clergies and the different organizations have to, it's time now, Simeon,
yes,
that they come out and denounce the nonsense and the garbage that is being spewed by Thompson Fountain and his clique. People, because when people don't hear them, it's like what these guys are saying is true. And we know for a fact that what these guys are saying are total, it's a hunk of garbage that they're preaching, and they're just trying to see how they can get something to stick. So every time something happens in the world and it affects Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit is responsible for it. Things that happen way in the East is Roosevelt Skerrit responsible for it. So these guys have no kind of, they have nothing to substantiate their claim.
Right.
Thompson Fountain, as a leader, has not proven anything. He has challenged and questioned the IMF that he said he was working with. He has challenged the CDB. He has challenged and questioned the ECCB. Every time those institutions give a positive report about Dominica, he challenged them. A guy that wants to be the leader of Dominica. He has challenged international experts. He has challenged everything. Thompson in himself is a lazy guy. Thompson walks lazy. He talks lazy. He eats lazy. He sleeps lazy. And his total demeanor is one of laziness, lack of activity, lack of foresight, lack of planning, lack of recommendation. As a PhD, Thompson should be every quarter comparing and contrasting and telling us, well, no, we were at 2%, and because of the airport project, because of the road network project, because of the hotels that have been built, we now move from 2 to 3% economic growth. We shouldn't be waiting on the IMF or the CDB to tell us. Thompson is a PhD.
That's right.
That should be his job. That should be his contribution. And telling the government, well, you know, we have grown by 2% for the last quarter, and we can do this, and we can maybe go up to 3 or 4.2% for the next quarter or the 2 quarters to come. That is what Thompson should be busy doing. But I'm doubting right now. I am questioning, Clarence, if Thompson Fountain is really a PhD economist, because for a person of that profession, you cannot stoop so low and have nothing to offer. Nothing, and a bunch of lies. The enemies, these guys are enemies of truth. They don't want to see Roosevelt Skerrit, the prime minister. They don't want to see growth. They don't want to see the elderly get a house. They don't want to see the young people get scholarship to go study. They call them prostitutes. They don't want to see our safety net for our Yes We Care program for our elderly. These guys want nothing, Simeon, for the country than just doom and gloom, praying that the country end up in chaos. Their own preacher, their own pastor said he is praying earnestly for chaos in the country, and these are the guys, Simeon, that is vying for position. These are the guys that are telling us that they want to lead the country. We cannot allow that. We shall not allow that, and that will never be tolerated in our country. Sibo, thank you. I'll be listening to the remainder of your program.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you again for your guys. Thank you for your sterling contribution there. Indeed, and you know, and Clarence, I mean, the point I was making about when these fellas talk about dark days for Dominica have had dark days, you know, and we came from it because of the leadership that this country have, and so we know what it is to go there. I mean, the fact is that one have to accept that when Erica hit this country, it was a dark moment for us. Many people did not know what the outcome, the true outcome would be. There were people I met who told me that they really didn't know what was going to happen for them because they had worked all their life, they had retired, and then suddenly, within hours of a night, they get up the next day seeing everything really disappeared. The entire home and all its holdings disappeared. and did not know how they were going to be able to sleep in comfort again with their family. And so those are the darkest moments that you as a human being living on this earth could go through, where everything you have worked for disappeared. But the Labour Party did not allow this dark moment to last for very long in the lives of the citizens of this country. And it did all what that was possible, this Prime Minister, to make sure that people, our citizens, would be able to come back to their comfort, and assisted many people across Dominica with the construction of their homes, while at the same time building new homes for our citizens and making sure people had money in their pocket. So this so-called doom and gloom and hoping and praying for this country to fail, that's not going to happen, because by the grace of God, our Prime Minister is a God-fearing person, and he has always reminded us that God has placed him there to do for a purpose, and God will always work with us in finding a way. And Clarence, this is one of the reasons why when Prime Minister Skerrit became the Prime Minister, he called for a National Day of Prayer, and as you likely said, Clarence, the funds that were raised on that particular day is still in a locker. When
I left, it was still there.
It was still there. And so you know, the blessings of the Lord is with us, and no man can take that away. Caller, good evening on the telephone.
I'm saying good evening to Mr. Lloydie, my son. Lloydie, God will continue to bless, guide, and protect you, and continue to wisdom in you. I love you, and I thank you for talking so well for our country. Have a wonderful week, my son. God bless you. God bless you. And I say to Thompson Fountain, you will collapse and you will leave Dominica as God wishes. You're wicked man.
Thank you, Mami.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Clarence.
Simeon, if I go back, in 2022, take the call.
Let me she's on the line there for that. Yes, caller, good evening to you on the telephone. Yeah, your phone went off again. Yeah, but callers, feel free to call us also on the WhatsApp line, which is of course a very clear line, and we can always get your call through 245-2929, and you can use your WhatsApp and use the WhatsApp call in as well. Yes, Clarence, make the point. Yeah, go ahead, Clarence.
Yeah, I was saying in 2022, Thompson make a thing. I said that they know. Because he's an economist. He can make predictions. He knew. So therefore he had made an economic prediction that the airport is not going to be completed. It's not going to be completed.
Yes.
It wouldn't reach that far what we are in 2026.
Right.
So that means it would have failed.
Right.
I am wondering, you don't think Thompson have made similar predictions to countries that they are doing good or they are doing bad and they are reverse open?
Well, you never know what he has done. I mean, this guy has gone through quite a few things in his lifetime already, including all of his, his areas where he have had the opportunity to prove himself, where he have failed, and where he was tested, but rather than building on what he was given, he destroyed it. That is what we know about Thompson. So he's gloom and praying for the country to reach in that stage. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he continued the task of the WP.
Simeon, isn't that an example of himself? He's himself as a person. His achievement as a person. Not forget his educational achievement. But his achievement as a person, as somebody who has a big job at the IMF. He has absolutely nothing to show for it in Dominica. Absolutely nothing. Isn't that type of doom and gloom of himself he is preaching on the country, or he's preaching for the country?
Well, I mean, it's way possible. It's way possible. It's way possible. It's way possible, Clarence. And let's put it that way. He failed, and if you look at him today, I'm not sure he has resurrected properly from all his failures. Yeah. But let's take that call. All right, we seem to have lost this caller there. But callers, feel free to give us a call. Let's use on the telephone. Yeah, good evening to you on the telephone.
Yeah, just when Pierre Charles had need him in Dominica for help. He said, oh, money too small for him. He can't go for Dominica in Dominica for that money. Why now he
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to answer that question.
Yes,
because
yes.
I really didn't need. Thank you.
Yes, caller. I mean, you're right. When Pierre Charles was there and the country was going through the stabilization program, I remember Thompson at some meetings. But I never saw any valuable contribution coming from Sticky Finger as to what the government should do at the time to fix the country that was very devastated by, that was going through those dark days of the UWP. I cannot recall him, coming with any proposal or making any suggestions that would resolve the issues of the country. So the point is, what we know about Thompson Fontaine is that everything Thompson Fontaine has touched has failed. I mean, it's sad. It's sad that a man who got an opportunity to educate himself, to have his PhD in finance, as he have said, who one would expect that would have made Dominica proud growing up, but rather everything this man has touched, it end up either in a court or he had to leave it and run away.
But Simeon, you cannot be working in a financial institution like the World Bank. Simeon, if I was working at the credit union or the NBD or any little credit union, and everybody who give me credit, the creditors and things, so writing to me.
Yeah.
Or writing to the institution saying I am not paying my debt, or I have lawyer people coming to me. The institution going to fire me.
No, Clarence, as you say in that day, I was going through the archive earlier on today, and I came across Thompson Fontaine. And I need to remind our listeners about, because, right now, Thompson and Joshua Francis, they're posing now as if they are the savior for Dominica. Yeah. But I want to remind Dominicans that the very same Joshua Francis was somebody who was together with Fontaine with the UWP when they were promising Dominicans that they could come and change the country's economy and that they could bring better for the people. That the very same Thompson and Joshua were those who wanted to form a club, a so-called sub then, where after having lost the election, wanted to take the money of their supporters because they parle labor right, because we were won in labor rights. That wanted to ask people to put their money in some kind of interest-bearing thing where they would be able to give the people interest, but a Ponzi scheme is the correct word for it. And we came on the radio there and we warned them. We tell them, do not trust Fontaine. Permettez l'argent. And one thing, the workers people, they didn't put their money in it because they realized it's a fraud that Fontaine and they was pulling on them there with that so-called thing, because they turned it from interest bearing to a sub, basically. And then it turned out that is a Ponzi scheme. So the truth about it is Fontaine and Joshua Francis, they went way back. But what I realized today again, and I was reminded, is that Fontaine was one of those that make sure Joshua Francis was fired from the UWP when he was fired, let me play something for you where they had put a question to Fontaine, both about the DAS, and I believe it was at the time when he was moving to fire Joshua Francis. At the time when they had their case in Newtown, their court in Newtown, and I believe Edison came out and said that they had their low court, their high court, and even their privy council they had during that time. Listen to that, dear people, a little bit of reminder.
On Wednesday, we had information that Joshua was going to be arrested because the police had sent a clear message that the three names involved will be arrested. So it's on that basis we made the request to Josh. So it wasn't in a vacuum, okay? It was in on that basis. That's the first point. Now we made the point about allegations about me and gas and so on. I mean, let's not go there, because this is obviously completely different things altogether. The DAS issue, okay, as you know, with the DAS issue, if I want me to split out, I was never charged, I never stole any money. I was never charged by any police. I was never, you see, none of this ever happened. Okay? So that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's an interesting recording. And why that recording is interesting to me? Here it is that Sticky Finger and the same Joshua Francis now trying to regroup. They're trying to represent themselves as if they can come as the savior of Dominica. The very Joshua Francis that was obviously fired by, and Thompson was justifying the reason
why he was fired.
Why Joshua was fired. Right? So yeah, so the press, the media was pressing him on why were they getting rid of Joshua. But obviously they had to get rid of Joshua. So I agree Joshua had to be gotten rid of, because Joshua action at the time, proved that he was not fit and still not fit to hold public office, because the man is a loose cannon. You never know when the man going to pull a cutlass. Any man that could threaten his family with a cutlass in the way that was describing the cut against Joshua Francis by his wife tells you how dangerous of a person that this man can be. So with all the nice talk and the good talk and all kind of talk he coming with on the radio those days, as if he can, the man is a loose screw by itself. So, you know it is already. He can have a good side and a bad side, but his bad side can be very dangerous because his family had to run away because of how dangerous he was. But Thompson, on the other hand, when he was asked and pressed on the issue of the DAS now, he never stole no money. He never did anything wrong. Monsieur say on sacre mate. And why I will say Thompson is a liar, and because we have spoken on the issue of the DAS on numerous occasions on this program. They like to bring me to court and put me before court for saying nothing. But we have said plenty on the issue of the DAS. Now, when you take money that does not belong to you, and it belongs to the organization, and you take it and put it into your own personal account, what do you call that? And you did it unknowing to the manager or to the directors or to the people who would have to grant you the authority to even remove the money in the first place from the account. How you call that?
Simeon, let me put that in for those UWP.
Put it first,
Thompson Fontaine is the political leader of the United Workers' Party. They collect funds. They would get funds from their persons who support them. United Workers' Party would have an account in the bank. Thompson Fontaine being the political leader, he would have a signature on the account. And there would be another second signature. Let us say it is thing. It could be either Ronald Charles or some other person. Thompson Fontaine get a way to get a check signed by the other person, withdraw cash from the account and take it and put it on his bank account or his credit union account in Grand Fond. I'm saying that not happening, I'm giving an example. Would that not be theft, Simeon?
Well, I think you should use the DAS. Because the point is, he took the DAS money.
He took the DAS money.
And he also went as far as purchasing a piece of land according to him.
Yeah.
That was
belonging to the DAS.
Belonging to the DAS. And listen to the one where he say he purchased the land,
They record at the treasury, at the registry, and that's a matter of public knowledge, and they know that. Okay? I purchased a portion of land, approximately 11,000 square feet of land from the DAS organization a few years ago. That was funded by a loan taken out by the Roseville Credit Union. I gave over 550 or thereabouts a square foot of agricultural land at Roseville. Okay? I paid for the land from a loan taken out by the Roseville Credit Union. This information is available at the registry. It can be verified, and that's a simple thing that's happened down. To give the impression that I suddenly took that land, I think this is just ridiculous.
Now, he happened to be the treasurer of the DAS. The land was gifted to the institution for the purpose of the young people of this country, because Mr. D. Phillips appreciated the non-profit organization that Sticky Finger was part of. Yap Thompson was the treasurer of the organization. So the land was gifted, including the piece of land that he claimed to have purchased. So not only did money find itself in Sticky Finger Fountain account, but the land that was bequeathed to the organization also found itself in his name on the certificate of title. Now, he claimed to have purchased it from the credit union, took a loan from the... But he abandoned the loan soon after, because the credit union had to, you know, go to court with him.
And sell the property.
For the very same
piece of land.
Loaning. I mean, the man is... He could not, even at that stage, he could not make none of these things their work. He's supposed to be an expert in finance. We say, show us where your expertise, work and make something positive happen. Instead, what this man did was to destroy the organization. Nowhere have we seen any records of Thompson Fountain where he has placed his hand on anything and there was a success story. So he claiming he didn't steal nothing. Well, so see upate vole South Eden, because the money left the institution account, and we have all of the records which we know we still have today, that will show us the pattern in how Fountain took that money from the DAS account and placed it unknowing to the organization into his personal account. But yet still, when he was pressed back then by the press, he went on to tell them he did not steal any money because he was never arrested. You only was not arrested because Gabriel Christian and this is Clayton Shillingford and others tried to give you a chance. They tried to give you a chance, Sticky Finger Fountain, with the hope that you would have refunded the money. But when it got to the point where they realized you were not refunding the organization money and they had to account for the money, they then decided that your action was a matter, according to Gabriel Christian, who was the law officer, was a matter for law enforcement. And had they report you to law enforcement, whether it's in the United States, because the United States, they don't play with those non-profit organizations. When you get money as a non-profit organization for a particular purpose, you must ensure that the funds are used for the purpose of which it was intended.
And they're very strict on that, Simeon.
And their laws are very
strict.
You know, so they don't play around with that.
Yeah.
So the only reason why Fountain didn't take jail in the United States for what he did to that non-profit organization that was registered in the United States is because Clayton and them tried to cover it up for him. And they still, but within the organization itself, they were sharing information among themselves. And that they were telling Fountain to put mette l'argent VA, put it back, because this was a problem for them. And you know, the organization didn't survive after that. After Fountain's action, the DAS never served, not even the other diasporas that could come together to survive, because Fountain killed each way. So when he came and said he didn't steal money, he think he can fool us with that. But I can tell any Dominican, if you are running a company for somebody or you are part of a non-profit organization where the funds doesn't belong to you, but you are only handling the funds because of the position in the organization that you hold in, does not give you a right to take the money or the land that belong to the organization and put it in your name.
The same way, Simeon, it would not give you, no, I don't think, it could not give you the right as political leader of the UWP to take UWP money in their bank account for your personal use.
I don't care if what he do if he's WP, you know.
I'm telling you, this is the same principle.
Yeah, but
he would not be able to do that.
I don't care what he do with UWP. It's a side level UWP. But when it comes to those organizations that he was serving on, especially the non-profit one, and to have gone through the extent of taking the money, putting it on your account, and according to the information we have, even taking a loan against the money.
Yeah.
Taking a loan against that very same money. And this is one of the... So, toute ces l'argent là, Thompson Fontaine fait, you end up so broke that you have to take the organization money, and then you come there and say you didn't steal it because you was not arrested and you was not put in jail.
And then the young people of Dominica lost their piece of land that D. Phillips left for them until a financial institution had to take it and sell it from him because he took a loan against the money and then did not turn back and pay it while working at the IMF, you know.
Yes.
Making all this money. If you Google Thompson Fontaine name, every time you come across Thompson Fontaine is somebody writing him a legal matter about a credit card he not paying, his loan not paying, his house not paying, his this not paying. That is it, Thompson Fontaine. After all the money he was making at the IMF, about $15,000 a month plus perks, including plus perks and other allowances.
And you know, Clarence, what is interesting, and I want to read one of the emails because I have the list of...
And then you want to be Minister of Finance for the country?
I have the list of emails. So let me read a little bit of it again to just help Fontaine to know how corrupt he is and come and try to lie to people about what he didn't steal. You know, they said, Thompson, we kept this matter between yourself and Clayton and one of the other directors. And I, for at least a month, awaiting your response, Badika Weapon. As we did not desire to hype what may have been harmless error, they still telling him they didn't really think they wanted to hype it. But though poor governance of your duties, so they tell Sticky Finger as the treasurer of the organization that was poor governance. You didn't even know how to govern a simple thing like the institution where so many other people was on board. If you in high daylight, you making money, leave the institution account and ending up on yours. I ask you not to resign, but just do what was asked. In other words, they tried to protect Fontaine. They asked him not to resign, you know. You see why he don't end up getting arrested? Because they were still considering him. But they just asked him to do what was asked, i.e. turn over the funds and do the accounting. I consider us brothers. You know, when somebody consider you brothers, they really don't looking to put you in police and to put you in jail. And there was no acrimony there. And we all respected your leadership of years. And that is what they were telling Fontaine. I trust you not in the future. I will state those facts, and not tend to make our, judiciary effort seem like some sort of witch hunt. But they went on to tell Fontaine, I am disappointed that we had to bring this to the board. So just imagine that, when they found out Sticky Finger transferred all of this money from the organization account into his private and personal account, they gave him a chance to refund the money, to bring it back. But Thompson must have been broke at the time, and he did not have the money to repay. He could not find someone that could repay it for him. So he was dilly-dallying, time passing. So they tell him how this particular board member of his, the one that consider him to be as brothers, is telling him, I am disappointed that we had to bring this to the board. But your tardiness then has now compelled such action where we did nothing and the funds were never accounted for due to our inaction. Whose fault would it be then? They were asking Fontaine. We could not have been so irresponsible in the future. The DAS will have to, one, have 2 signatures to every transaction, and I suppose they would have maybe had that either before or after, or they may have trusted Fontaine so much. Well, that's why maybe he could just take their money, pass out. Have a quarterly accounting done, and other good governance proposals, suggestions by the board, driven by this episode, would be welcome. Again, we desire you to act speedily and promptly, Dr. Fontaine, to conclude this matter. That is all we have asked respectfully. But Thompson didn't refund the money because Clayton came on my program here with us and Clayton couldn't convince us. So Fontaine, you have lied to these people of this country when you say you never stole no money, when you were never arrested. Yes, you were never arrested. We accept that. But on the issue where you claim you never stole no money, my brother, Okamati, you are lying to the Dominican people. And we question, with all of the questions that were asked, the president, who is this is today, Mr. Shillingford, who sat with us on this Next Level program, could not tell the people of Dominica that Fontaine had refunded the money. So don't play no tricks on us and believe you go in and put your hands in the treasury of Dominica where you lack the ability, even with your PhD, to govern anything that put in your hand properly. That is why your director, who claimed to have been your brother, told you that your poor governance of your duties caused the total failure of an institution that should have been. I mean, you all got the land, not even a loan all you took. All you got several acres of land, some in the West Coast.
Some in the West Coast, some in
Rosalie. You know, acres of land. Mr. D. Phillips just put in all your hand to sell, to raise the money. That was a test for Fontaine, and he failed it in flying colors. And then he come to Dominica to tell us he come to save Dominica. No, Thompson come there hoping that Dominica will save him, hoping that right now he's the leader of UWP, that you know, he can come with all his fancy footwork and think that people will put him in the treasury. And God alone knows. Bon Dieu tout seul connaît ça nom ça la te ke fait s'il mettait la main en l'argent moun Dominique. Because if he could do that, knowing that these people would, I mean, and he didn't, you know, Dominicans, somebody can do something one time and you can say, boy, okay, let's give the person a chance because, you know, they did it once. But when you go, you take $12,000 and you claim to have put it into a CD, some inches bearing thing in your name. I mean, you wasn't satisfied because you think you're getting away with it. And that is how thief does roll. When they take the first tranche and they realize, you know,
why do it?
Nobody see me, boy. 2 months pass, a month pass, nobody seeing that. He think, well, he can get away again. So he goes back in the same account now and take another portion of money again. And then transfer it again. Until it reached $27,000, Messier. Tell me something about that. Isn't there a pattern? And then this is why, Thompson, you cannot tell us Dominicans who pate vole la jela. You cannot tell that to us. Because the records we have, and matter skin him, how we were able to get the emails. Well, obviously, Thompson did not do well by paying back the money. And the directors did not want to have to be held accountable for what Thompson had done.
So they pass it, they send it to the membership.
So they share it with the membership, and obviously the rest of us get to know. Otherwise they would have covered it up. And only God knows we would have taken a chance and put Sticky Finger Fontaine in the treasury of Dominica. thinking that he's such a PhD fella and he has such a high degree in finance and that he can just come and run the country's affairs. But instead, what this man did to this organization is what he could do to this country, Dominica. Because he, according to one of the people that asked, where is Sticky Finger going to get the money to run Dominica? Where? Nobody knows. He has not tell anybody where he would fund anything that they want to do. So the question there now is for the people of Dominica to understand the character of the man Thompson Fontaine and why his so-called doctor and his so-called PhD does not qualify him to govern this country, because he couldn't govern anything else. And we will speak more to the other issues on our next program because it's already almost 11 o'clock. Clarissa and Clarence, we have to leave. Your closing remarks, brother.
Well, good program. Until we meet again next Tuesday, we will continue with this. We have to continue with this.
Yes, we will examine that
because we have to let people know who really Thompson, and continue to let people know who really Thompson Fontaine is, because he is a pathological liar. Because as he said, since 2022, and we're not saying we're playing him since in 2022. He's saying international airport is not going to be built. CBI going with things. Since 2022, today we're in 2026. 4 years later, airport is almost completed. CBI is still running, but now he's telling us by this end of this year, the country will be collapsed. This is the man who called himself an economic. No empirical data, nothing to support his assertions, just something in his head. The same thing in his head that was telling him to take the DAS money and put it into his personal account. Simeon, good night, and good night to the rest of the listeners.
Carissa?
Yeah, well, Simeon, I just want to share the same sentiment, Clarence. That, I mean, this gentleman preaching doom and gloom on the country. I mean, we should not allow that to slide at all, because I mean, absolutely no other agency is, and we're talking about international agencies, persons who have come in and assess all our accounts and look at the running of the country. They are not sharing the same sentiment as the gentleman. So we want to just let the public know that the country is in safe hands, and we can trust the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit to continue with the good work that he has started.
Indeed, thank you, gentlemen, and of course we will continue, as we said, on Tuesday with this particular discussion, because we need to remind the people of this country who Thompson Fontaine is and why he cannot be trusted and why he should never get close to the finances of this country, because what this man has done, he has proven that he is not capable, he is not trustworthy to be handling money or to be responsible for money or to be responsible for any institution whatsoever it is. And that is why the UWP, half of it not trusted him and part of it with him, yes, but we have to remind the people. And we will talk to you again, people, next week, Tuesday. So in the meantime, let's continue to pray for Dominica, pray that God will guide our political leader, Dr. Skerrit and family, and that we will, of course, be spared from any major natural disaster as we go through 2026. Let's continue to stay positive, people, at all times, and let's continue to defend our country, Dominica. I want to thank all the folks who join us on our Next Level page, Lauren Benoit, and all of the folks who join us tonight. Goldie Williams, good night to you. Want to tell you all, thank you for always joining us. Let's always stand in defense of Dominica, because there are those who want to bring Dominica back and not forward. And we have to stay positive labor rights. We have to stand together to make sure that we can accomplish those goals in our lifetime so that the future generation will have it easier. God bless you all. And I leave you for a favorite song. If you are not on the labor train, you better get on it. So remember, the confirmation process is ongoing. So have your IDs and make sure that your names are counted. They already started putting out some of the lists. And one more announcement I want to make there tonight before I leave. The people, there was recent announcement that, Prime Minister Skerrit said that the country would be removing visas to allow more people to flow into the country. And he said so during the particular interview that was done with Curtis Matthew, Matt Peltier, Kalai John Baptist, and others. So there is an item, a news item, that the Dominica has officially approved visa-free entry for nationals of the Dominican Republic effective February 1st, 2026. Citizens of the Dominican Republic will now be able to come in to Dominica, travel into this country, and they can be there up to 6 months without a visa. So visa-free entry now for Dominican Republic citizens who always had to get a visa, and a lot of them wanted to come here. Now they have that ability now to travel freely into our country, Dominica. And Prime Minister Skerrit gave the commitment that he was not pleased that we had visas to enter into Dominica on the citizens, and the government has acted immediately to make sure that this happens. So for the people in the Dominican Republic, visa free. You all are welcome to come to Dominica, and we need to build our population, so let them come. We have work to do in the country. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night, and I leave you with our favorite song. Of course, if you are not on the labor train, you better get on board.
Where my people at? Are you ready? Ready. Let me go. Wait for me. Give them. Captain Skerrit, ring the bell and we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Captain ordained by God and we ready. Ready to vote back the LP. A driver everybody could trust. A driver religious men endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody branching on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody branching on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Don't leave me down, I want to be there. Plenty red in the atmosphere. You ready? Put your hands in the air. Ready. Ready to do it again. In the sun or under the rain. Everyone on the Labour train. Ready. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Shout it out if you on the train. Whoa. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Everyone on the Labour train, yeah. Great leadership is everything. So we ready to vote Scarrow and the party. We don't want that bogus driver to get in. So we ready to vote Scarrow and the party. To eradicate poverty. We take education seriously. We taking care of the poor and the needy. Cause they are part of the family. Hey. Everybody branching on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cottage and Postman branching. Bush and fakers bash it. The train is passing through. Wesley and Marigot, who are we?